Hello Commanders, and welcome back to my tutorial series on how to play Fortnite Save the World. And in today's episode, we are going to take on Plankerton Defense number 3. And then, upon completion of it, we'll unlock an additional part of our survivor squads to go along with 3 different slots for expedition vehicles. I will receive V-Bucks because I have a founder's account for this series. And then once you reach your natural progression through the storyline to this point, you'll receive your X-ray tickets. And also want to point out, we'll get a legendary hero. Now, the reason we are working forward here is because War Games is available each and every day a reset occurs. And I have said routinely how important this is out here when it comes to a new player because gold is so hard to come by. Right? Also, when it comes to Plankerton, though, you have an opportunity to earn routine evolution materials. And my recommendation early on would be the pure drops of rain. All right. Now, if you try to go in currently following Storm Shield Defense number 2, to complete your War Games in Plankerton, they do have a requirement of placing an amplifier. So as such, I feel it necessary to cover it now. Do be reminded that you can complete your daily quests. In this case, we have a constructor. Right? Repeatables when it comes to your Mist Monsters. You could have hero quests, but don't overlook challenges for your builds, Unspeakable Horrors, and Eldritch Abominations. So that's 3 total for the Mist Monsters. And then, of course, Mission Accomplished and Hold the Door. And as a reminder here, Mission Accomplished and Hold the Door, you can get those completed as well through doing War Games. So multiple reasons here why we are going back. But anyway, I am going to go ahead out in Plankerton, load in to our Homebase Storm Shield, and guide you through step by step, build by build, trap by trap, to show you how to go ahead and clear Storm Shield Defense number 3. So now that we enter our Homebase Storm Shield, let me go ahead and provide you with an update of how we have actually gotten to this point. Now initially, for Storm Shield Defense number 1, you'll drop your Homebase amplifier, and then you will receive attacks from the north, east, south, and west initially. Then in Storm Shield Defense number 2, I recommended that you head over here to the northeast, and our alpha amplifier would then be placed. And you do need to prepare for attacks from the north, the east, and the south here. But do want to point out that you will no longer receive an east attack on your Homebase amplifier once you place this amp. Then, for number 3, I want you to head out here to the south and place this amplifier right here and prepare for attacks from the east, the south, and the west. So let's go ahead and place our amplifier. And I do want to remind you of the box right here. This is where the enemies are trying to attack. So you almost want to build around and or bait the enemies into this area. And you can do that actually by creating openings. But the goal is keep the husks on their natural path into the objective and then prepare to drop the damage. All right. Once you do place this amplifier, you will no longer receive a south attack when it comes to your Homebase amplifier. So the first thing we want to do, and like I've done in other episodes, I would go around, I would clear any areas of, natural terrain debris that could affect the pathing of the husks. And I've already gone ahead and done that. But we're going to go ahead and take down this section here now, because as mentioned, we no longer need it. And we'll go ahead and recuperate our items. And we are golden here. Now you do have an opportunity, if need be, to make adjustments to the Homebase build, and you can take items away here if you would like. It's completely and entirely up to you. All right. If you have enough resource, leave it. It's not going to hurt anything right now. All right. But again, if you wish, feel free. Not the core now, but maybe some of the exterior items. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it because that would be my recommendation. If you have a perfect world and the right amount of resource, which hopefully you do, and you've been working at it. Now, before we do anything here, though, I want to head back over to our alpha amplifier. There was another thing I wanted to do here, too. The enemies can actually, in your defense, previous drop down here. I do want to remind you, and we did talk about this already when I was in the episode. I would throw a dart here, just in case you're coming across this video before, you're at this defense. But I would throw a couple of darts here and here, just to take care of the enemies initially as they drop. But they're going to come here anyway and just drop straight down it. And I already have it prepared, but I just want to give you an extra layer here if you want to make the addition. All right. But that's all I would do right now here. Now, another thing that we can do on the north side, and it's not a bad move, honestly, here. You can go ahead and make some adjustments if you would like here. I'm just going to open this for a moment so I can show you what we're going to discuss. And it'll actually prepare you in advance for the future. So out over here, and if you're looking at the Homebase amplifier to the northwest, you have this natural terrain area here. I would go ahead and put a block off here, and we'll call it a partial because we will not use a floor piece. All right. So it'd be partial. Then from the amplifier here now, we could say from both sides, I would go 1 and 2 and 1 this way. All right. And then right here, I'm going to go ahead and leave an opening. And then just keep everything else that you already had. As a reminder, when you're building, natural terrain does not count for this rule that I like to mention here. All right. But I have something called the rule of twos. It's 2 tiles, then you stagger 2 to the opening. If you try, and if this wasn't natural terrain now, to put more than 2, the enemies get more curious and will try to create openings on you. So please be mindful of that. And just to go ahead, because we're starting fresh here, I'll just go again and we'll start from the beginning. And then, but what you want to do is you want to kind of walk this off of your build a bit and mimic it exactly. I do like synergy. You'll see that with me. And again, you're just kind of working it around, and then you're up, and then it's 1 and 2, and then you connect it all the way in. Because you will get some husks that get curious and start wanting to work out this way. I would also make adjustments here too. We're going to replace some of these tiles because in our journey now, we've been able to upgrade our traps a bit. So I would keep these items here. Then you take your tile like this and put your wall here. Because what's going to happen is you'll get a flinger that likes to stand out here and get cute a bit. And I did point this out in our previous episode. And especially when you start doing war games and that, you need to be mindful of it. So this is all good. And then we'll open this up so that we still get play from the dart we already have. All right. And then you can get a little bit of extra here. You can get a sound wall here. There are some things that you can do as you're working it. And then, of course, over here, it would be just what we had before. Now, there's this little area right down here. Okay. I would go ahead and build this up a bit if it, were me. I think it can be a benefit to you. And it actually, the husks get a little less curious down here when you do this. Okay, so we're just going to go again with a partial block off, but this time I'm going to go with this old school onion style build that we used to run back in the day. And I still run it actually to this day. Facing the direction where the husk might attack. And we've got something just like this here. So we're almost building up through that little area. Pretty self-explanatory, I know, but... And then we'll run on down here, make sure everything is at tier 3. Now, I always recommend tier 3 metal across the board when it comes to storm shields and endurances initially, until you start dealing with elementals when it comes to husks. Go ahead and make sure we're good. But just remember, I would say the rule would be just make sure everything is, whenever it comes to a specific area or thing that you're building, it's all the same material at the same tier level. That's the key. Because people do ask me this and I want to go over it. And then, of course, we will just go ahead and craft us some darts out. And when it comes to your resource, this will be dependent upon how much you're actually farming in your journey. Right? I will not be able to control that for you. You do have to farm and save the world. And get the items for your traps. And I've pointed out in this series the importance of your stonewood endurance. The most important endurance, in my opinion, that you do in Save the World as a new player especially. And it will really help you significantly when it comes to your home base level. And when it comes to gold, XP amounts, rare perk up, re-perk when you are able to get enough mist monster eliminations, and so on and so forth. And again, before you enter Plankerton, I tell people, go on back. Do your Storm Shield 7, 8, 9, and 10 in Stonewood. Get that endurance running. I will tell you that since I've hit Plankerton, every free moment that I've had when it comes to this account, that endurance is running. And I do have a full 10-part series, step by step, how to build, trap, and operate your Stonewood endurance. And all you need to do is utilize the traps you currently have, and then eventually evolve the build by replacing once your traps improve. And if you can only complete 10, 20 waves, no problem. Waves 21 through 30 anyway take so long. It's actually better sometimes not to run all 30. But on your initial run, of course, you want your banner, your legendary troll stash llama, so on and so forth. All right. But anyway, from this point, after you get this all done and upgraded, all right, and I'm just going to go ahead and recycle this here for me. You're just going to go ahead and line your darts all the way down like this. And please have these pieces out here that I'm showing you, because there will be a flinger out here that likes to get cute. Okay, you just throw your darts out here. In the future, you'll use this for your endurance, believe it or not. It will be viable for that. You can also, if you're worried about anything creeping over here on the side, you can throw in here too. Just in case that 1, 2, and to the 3. If you got something over here. I don't believe you'll need that, but it's there if you need it. You can also do it on the other side as well. All right, you just come over here and drop another dart down if you want. But this is the adjustments that I would make to this point if you are running. And then, following that, you would want to get maybe a couple of sound wall traps. You could go wall dynamo over here, but I would throw a sound wall here and over here just in case you get some propane. It could be of benefit to have that there. All right, so that would take care of our initial updates on the home base. And then let me just go ahead and get this tier 3, and then we'll move forward. Now your build and repair speed, and that is still not as fast as it will eventually be, so we have to be patient here. But people ask me, why we take time upgrading everything, but it's because I don't want to, miss steps. I don't want you to. I want to practice what I preach here. When you start rushing and you don't dot the I's and cross the T's and take your time, things get overlooked. And you could forget, right? One of these structures in here. And it could be maybe a tier 1 structure inside of your tier 3s on the out. And the enemies will get more interested in that. Okay? Then you have this over here again. Just make sure everything was at tier 3. All right, so that takes care of this section. Then up here on our alpha. And just in general, if you take nothing else from this video, take this. Your Storm Shield defenses, and especially your endurances in the future, could potentially not be evergreen for you. Meaning you will have to make adjustments based on changes in the game and or updates that are released. Now, one thing is if you build damage, I can say this more so than when you recycle, when you stall, if you try to use techniques like coning, lighthousing, loop bridges, smasher bridges, right? They are prone to fail. And you can actually lose an entire endurance by using those techniques if they fail. And or if the game makes adjustments toward it. But damage always stays true. All right. And that stonewood there, that is a true battle-tested, nasty build. And if you build that step by step and initially follow that, you will clear with your eyes closed when it comes to endurance. You just have to build it exactly as I show it and stand where I tell you to. And just start working the traps. Initially, you'll follow around the attacks, placing your base if you want a full 30-wave clear. You might even have to replace some traps early on. Again, Machinist Harper is my recommended hero when you're running endurance, by the way, especially for our new players out there. All right, so I do want to cover that. So off of the build that I already had, I still like everything here. I would not change anything. When it comes to that build that we had going, even with the darts here, we are golden. Keep everything right over here to the north, just as I have it. And one thing you can do, though, is you can come in here with a couple of anti-air traps. And I would actually here, believe it or not. All right. And I would put an anti-air trap facing out here to the north, here, and then up here. Sometimes you can get little lobbers that will want to get cute back here and kind of hang out. You can actually throw it on the ground level here too if you wish, but we're not going to do that. Everything else is golden here. Nasty build here. All right. Just keep everything as we have it. And again, this is all in Plankerton Storm Shield Defense number 2 to show you exactly what needs to be done. Now out here, I would do some different things. All right, so let's go ahead for a moment, break things down. These were just some temporary items that we had in place. And honestly, what I recommend is pretty simple. I would say, and remember, we could not upgrade this because the Storm Shield bubble, right? I would come back out here for a moment and I'd start fresh. It's the best thing to do, honestly. Just take all of this down and let's go again. And then I'll take this down. And this one down as well. You actually don't even need this here at all. And then we'll come back in there and give you an update. I'd also go ahead initially and take this down over here that we had. And we'll do an adjustment back here in case you get anything that's leaking around. And if you try to cut corners now, and you don't take our advice here, you know, things can happen. So just be aware of that. If you want it to work, you need to build it exactly like we talk about it. If you have any questions, you can leave comments in the chat. I can answer those for you. Use the traps that you currently have earned, though. That's the key. All right. Now, you're going to have your spawns and that occur out here, and they're going to start walking down this way. And then you have your opening We actually put a dart here to play off of the opening here. Right? But as you enter now, right, the box is back here. So the enemies typically, if they're coming from this direction, for some reason, they'd work around that way. And believe it or not, same thing here. They kind of work this way in. So this would be our path, and then into that way. Now you have this little natural terrain section here. I'd go ahead and build here, and then I want you to go ahead and place some block offs here. And this time, and if you can see it through the build, or through the floor here, okay, angling them to the southeast of our core, our shoulder here. Just block this off. You'll have your full ceilings, floors, walls, and you'll be good to go here. And then, of course, our edited pyramid piece. I prefer the pyramid. It's more universal than the reverse 45, and you want it to be angled again for this direction. So we are good here. Everything gets upgraded. Now, I've had this question again when we're doing the series. If you do not have enough metal to cover yourself, can you switch off and utilize, wood or stone? Absolutely. The key is this. When you have a directional build, I would just keep everything the same material at the same level. That's what's key. All right. The worst thing you could do is have metal, tier 3 on the outside here, and then have weakened structures behind, because the enemies will aggro on that, and it can, lead to problems for you. So everything gets built there. Now, the enemies will try to work either here or up and around here. So basically, we're going to start right at this point. And I actually like, you have a couple of different options here that you can do. I'm going to go with a couple of kill boxes here, believe it or not. I'm going to open this up, build through here, open this up, and leave that there. And then right down this way, 1/3 walls here, 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 just like that. Another thing that you can do here, though, if you want now, I like both of these, so I'm just giving you two different options of what you could do. That first one I just showed you, you're golden with. If you don't want that one, though, at the end, another thing that we can go ahead and do is go with the finisher that I like to show in my videos. Right here. And then you just finish them out here. Right, just like this, and then your ceiling here. Both work fantastic. It really is up to you. And if you run this style, you may want to consider some block off back here, but I don't typically have any issues with it. This is the way I like to run it, but I want to show you, options based on your play style. And it is very, very important. You just double and triple check everything to make sure you're right as rain. All right, now, in these openings here, I'm going to put darts through here if you can get them to squeeze. Okay, if you can't get them in, then you've got to obviously leave it. Just at least try and take a look. All right. And this dart will shoot through your edited pyramid, and the key is the trigger light. That's when it'll activate. And then, of course, same thing over here. There we go. And then I like an opening here, and I like an opening here. This thing right here, we're going to do nothing with. We're just going to keep the full block off. Because we can't get the dart to shoot through, right? So, it is what it is. Now, I like this for a backup mainly because typically I'm going to go ahead and put a wall launcher here, but there's nothing wrong with putting a dart inside there in case that wall were to fall. You're thinking ahead, basically. All right. Then you have your dart shooting through here, and then as they walk through here, if anything were to walk through there, which is highly unlikely. And then right up top here on this build, one tile up, I want 1, 2, 3 into the 4. And you can actually go 6 if you wish here. The key is 1, 2, and 3 down. That's going to be your maximum when you talk about height on your builds, but just anchor that right there. If you're worried about the single anchor, you can always go in with a secondary piece. And then when we're doing block offs, usually middle center or base placement, right? We'd want our tier 2 stone.
Whoa, sorry.
And then we'll get this all leveled up.
Yeah, not possible. Nope. Whoa, sorry.
All right, so that would take care of your build when it comes to this area here. And then what you're going to have is starting pretty much at this wall. We're going to walk this all the way across. Just like we have here. Now, if you can, I'd go ahead and put a piece here. If you can get a pyramid in there, you'd go with it. That's the only piece I would place there, though. And then I'd go right here and throw another wall here. You do want these here, and you want your opening here. That way the enemies can just go ahead and drop down here. So I'm just going to open this up. They'll hit here, and then they'll go here. But please take care of this section here in case you get anything leaking up this backside. And this would be the adjustments that we're going to make. And then as those are going, we'll just go ahead and grab us some more material, and then we'll be right back. Also, out in Stonewood, I have been working that endurance with the material grinder, again, that I have available for you in that series. It's a grinder I've used since I started playing. You know, it's evolved over time with my playstyle, with the things that I wanted to do with the game. But it's fantastic. It provides you maneuverability, visibility. Most mat grinders that are out don't really do that, and that's one thing that I definitely recommend. Have that the ability if something goes wrong to see it and move quickly to fix it. Now, the next thing you want to do is if you have any transition points where there might be openings, just go ahead and add some additional material here. And then on these walls here, this is going to be darts. And if you're saying, you know, you have so much material, I don't have material, then you need to stop, right? You don't keep hitting play now. Don't keep moving forward. People keep asking me, hey, I'm watching your series. Your home base level is so high. How are you getting there? Again, you take your time. Each day you go back to Stonewood. You look to see if there's evolution materials available, heroes that might be available, or items for your collection book, right? You work, again, that endurance. Every chance you get, you run that endurance. Just AFK, even if you're only getting 5 waves a shot. Just set it and forget it for 5 waves. Come on back when it's all said and done. You would not believe how much you can level up by having it up. But you have to invest the time, and you got to farm. You might just need to go in and farm missions without even completing them, which I've done in this series. You can still actually earn XP, or excuse me, home base levels that way in XP with your time. When you're building and practicing inside your endurances, you can actually earn XP amounts as well. All right. But anyway, this would take care of this upper section here, and I would be mindful of it. And then right here on this floor wall, or excuse me, floor, I'd go ahead and get some, a nice wooden floor spike here, which could be of great benefit to you. Right here. Let's start the process. You're not worried about here. You're good from both sides if they try to come here. All right. You'd be golden. Another thing that you can do, and I actually recommend that you do, honestly, is I would, if you're able to now, and I don't know if you're going to be able to initially because of the, as you can see here, right? See how we can't get through the bubble? It's an unfortunate thing, but it just happens in the game. All right. But the enemies could actually come up here as well on you. So you're going to want to be mindful back here.
What to build?
And what I would do is I would throw a couple of darts here facing to that section. And then right in here, okay, I would try to block this off. The problem that you're going to have here, though, is you might not be able to upgrade everything. So basically, I would recommend you pretty much keep it at tier 1. But anyway, throw your darts here in case something were to enter. If you can get it at tier 3, once again, go with it. But I would throw this section here with 4 more darts.
Nope.
And then what they'll do is they'll just walk, and if you have your transition point here or whatever, right? If you're worried about this, just get it here and just send them down here. Right. And then you can come out here and throw a dart like this. And then I want you to put a ceiling up here, believe it or not, as well. All right, but be aware they can come up here and work around to get you.
Yeah, not possible.
All right. So, and again, when you're building, it's a good idea to have your Baron in hand. That's why I have you go get it. That movement speed, believe it or not, can really benefit you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, not possible.
Now, on that ceiling piece I had you place here, I want an anti-air trap right there. Okay. Face it out here to the northeast, north. Okay. You could actually throw an additional one if you wish now in the corner pockets up here as well. You could throw in, if you see any lobbers or that, just throw a couple more ceilings here. I don't think that you'll need it. You can go that route with it though. You can also just go ahead because you sealed the floor here, right, and throw one down on the ground here. That's where I'd place it, in the corner pocket. And again, you'll see lobbers, and you do need to take care of them.
Not possible.
And actually, I would do that same combination right back here in this corner. Here. And right up here, again, facing to the east, though, this time. That will take care if you get lobbers here, and or if you get the lobbers out and over this way. And you can see we have it all taken care of. And if they try to leak around this backside here, we're going to prepare for that. And I'll show you what to do here. Okay, so right over here now, just off of the wall that we have, right? Like this. And go just like this. And then right back here, I want a floor and I want an anti-air facing this way. And then once again, and if you can sneak them now, I will go darts here. And you can actually throw a couple more here if you want. And you might be saying this is overkill. No, it's not, right? My goal is to prepare you for all 10 Storm Shield defenses. We're always thinking ahead. That's one thing that gets overlooked to save the world. I've seen people always are building or preparing for that current moment. They're not looking for the future. Remember, everything that you're storing here is here, and you can break it down in the future and get it back. But you mark my words here. You will get lobbers and flingers that get cute and try to walk around here. So if you take care of it, right? 1, 2, and 3. Now, another thing, I actually right here, I would go ahead and trim this. I'm sorry. I'd bring it this way. It would save you some pieces. And it takes care of it more through this angle. So I have to do a pod, and I'll count it up for you one more time here in a second. And then again, if they try to throw over, you have your anti-air trap here. And then again, you could throw one on the floor down here if you want. All right, but this is 1, 2, into the 3 right at the water line here. And it'll protect you. And same thing here, 1, 2, and 3 out. That way you're all protected back here in case something tries to get cute. And you're just looking at some darts. It's not that much, you know, it's just a little farming. Like, I did a couple of episodes here for the newest Hestia or Homebase update. We had 2 new quest lines that got released. When I did those quest lines, right, we did some editing on them. I farmed those maps from top to bottom as I was doing those quests. I didn't showcase it for you in the videos because we've gone over farming routinely in the series, right? But any chance I've gotten with this account, I'm farming always. I'm never standing around. During this defense, I will farm during the defense. All right. But anyway, please take care of these sections. They are important and necessary. Please don't overlook it. I cannot stress the importance of that. I'm actually going to go ahead and throw another anti-air here because I just like it here. I like to have a combo, a couple in the sections, as you can see. See how they kind of duo whenever I'm running them? Always like that. And anyway, that takes care of all of this. Let's get another upgrade here, and then we'll go build or trap the rest of the other area. And then I got to make sure we don't forget to come back and upgrade that. And then, of course, your tier 2 stone would be base placement over a block off.
Whoa, sorry.
And then you're here at this point. Now, right here, I like a wooden floor spike right here at the entry of our trap tunnel. I like this here, and I would actually, there's nothing wrong with going back to back here. Actually, it plays pretty nice. And then right at the beginning here, and this tile right here, I want you to put a couple of sound wall traps. Whatever level you might have now. You should be working on your traps, leveling them up. Again, these are all we have here that we're using. I've gone over them in the series. You'll notice, just because it's legendary doesn't necessarily mean you should be leveling that up yet. I'm actually preparing you guys for the limited time mode, Survive the Horde. I'm going to show you on a noob account how you can get through that. If you put the time in and the effort and the work, you can get through it. Again, I can't control that though for you. You've got to be able to, you know, you put in the work you can, right? Or however you wish to.
Yeah, not possible.
All right, so you are golden here. You can actually throw a little sound wall over here too. I wouldn't put anything on the ceiling here, believe it or not. I would just leave that. Just because you're building, right, tiles, doesn't mean you necessarily have to have a trap on all those tiles. I just want it to work here, and then they work down. Right? Sound wall's cracking. Now, do keep in mind, if 2 sound walls fire at the same time, you only receive the effects of 1. It's possible there. But anyway, then we're working in. Now, I have this set where I'm going to go back to back to back with another wooden floor spike. You have your 1/3 walls potentially. I'm not going to put it here, though, on purpose. Then you want a wall launcher right here on this wall. And believe it or not, if you want to slow the enemies down, there's nothing wrong with putting one right here as well. Or you can go back to back with sound walls again if you wish. But we already have one here, and they would both be on the same reload, so you wouldn't want that. And then you just kind of push them back here a little bit as they work up. You can go boom, boom. All right. Through here, I like a wall dart. Back in we go. We'll craft us some dynamos now. I want energy dynamos here. And yes, you do need both energy and nature for the dynamo, the zapper, and the electric field eventually. Please don't listen otherwise. You absolutely and without question want both energy and nature for those traps. You want those natures when you're going into the water storms. Okay. Please make sure you're crafting those. You've got 1 out there, 2, 3, and then this one will shoot here. Another thing that you can do, if you wish, you could extend this up another tile here and use a ceiling drop trap to work, which I'm going to make a couple ceiling drop traps now, you know, in conjunction here to push. But I'm going to go with just a simple gas trap here. Just level 26, by the way. This would be an electric field in the pocket. And then I'm going to go ahead again here and put another wooden floor spike in here, actually. So this would be your gas. Direction doesn't matter on the gas trap. But OCD-wise, I always have it facing out. Electric field here. Dynamo in the box here. Dart, again, is shooting through. Dart shoots through here and will catch back through here. This would be a dynamo trap on the backside here. This is a dart. This is a dart. You have a dart shooting through this tile, right? Next trap I want you to get is a couple of zappers here, or at least one ceiling zapper initially, which will go here with this one. It's all one we have. And then because I don't have a secondary one or a finisher yet, we'll switch up and get another electric field going. And then what we want is this trap is a single target trap. You only want this trap at the end of your trap tunnels or near your core. All right. It tells you that it causes a large amount of damage and impact. Again, that's one enemy only. Single enemy. Please note that. But because you have large impact, sometimes that can cause knockback. And actually, as a result, I always put it in a direction over my shoulder that I, you know, for instance, if they come in here and they hit and you face it this way, could knock them back a little bit. And then I like this little dynamo right in here. And then up above here, if you want the ceiling drop traps, you can run them. You don't have to put it here, though, if you don't want it here. It's completely and entirely up to you. Okay, but anyway, these would go over our back shoulder, and we're just rolling them down the hill. Very important on the ceiling drop trap that you do pay attention to direction. I tell people, especially my new players coming in, treat every trap in the game as if direction matters over your back shoulder. You would not believe how much faster you become as a builder and a trapper when you have that mentality. You can't go wrong. Just always think about the direction when you place a trap that you want the enemies to go. And you can't go wrong. But anyway, that takes you here. And then we'd finish with a couple of tar pits. And then we have our darts working down and through if they are to come on out here. Which I do not even project at all whatsoever that's going to happen for you. Remember, you have your slow field too. Your slow field would go right here when the wave starts. And then you get out of dodge and you go farm. But that takes care of the attack from the east. For sure. And then if for some reason, you know, they're working off this way. Now, they were not going to, if we look up here. There's no way up here for them. We've already taken consideration here, so nothing's going to leak down and bother you. And we already have it all built for the attack in from the north here. So no adjustments necessary there. It all ties in. And with the recommendation of the base placement, it's going to wrap around and connect in and up at the Bravo. All right, so let's go over here now for the south attack that we had before. All right. And the enemies try to work themselves this way. So I'm going to go with another floor here, but over on this side. Okay, I want to line this up this way for you. Floor here. Here, ceiling up, up. All right, I had you with wooden floor spikes all the way down here. Now the difference here with the law of twos is the enemies don't typically get too curious here. Sometimes they'll try to get down and come this way. But if you're standing in the right place and you're not over here messing about, right? Like if they're attacking here, you're farming back to the north, right? You stand in the right place, you don't have to worry about it at all. But be mindful because you're going back to back to back. They could get more curious here. And this is actually, we have a couple of options here. We're going to do a little bit of a rebuild here for you, though. All right. And it is important. You have to determine how much you really want. All right. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just do a bit of a rebuild here. To each is their own, by the way. It really comes down to how much juice or thunder you want to put into your builds. But in this situation, I like a rebuild. Just go ahead and grab all your resource again. You are golden here. Nothing to worry about down here. We're going to get some block off going out. So right here at your entry point, I want to block off. It's going to be a full one with floor, edited, out to the southeast here.
Let's see.
All right. Just going to kind of work off this here. I want you to go here and here. 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 Actually, let's just connect here. Where I have it. Apologies. Not here. And then I'll just put a seal in here. All right. And then on the entry here, boom, boom, boom. Like this. And like this right here. I want 1/3 here and here. We're going to go back to back with our block offs here. Again, full block offs. And just wrap it all around here. And then I want a 1/3 wall right here. We're just going to go, I'm just going to go ahead, like I said, we're going to do the rebuild. So your traps have gotten stronger. You should play off that. You should absolutely and without question. Anytime that you get new upgraded traps, you should come in here and run them. Now, can you be successful without those upgraded traps? Absolutely. If you still have those traps in the 20s, use them. You'll be fine. But just come in here, as I'm doing. Let's just go ahead. And upgrade everything. And break everything down. You're going to get some smasher action down here, so be mindful of it. Okay. Another thing you can do is you can redirect here. You can take them out here and move them out through here if you want. Or, again, you can just keep working. Now, if you want to be safe here, though, block off is not a bad idea. So you could come in here with a couple layers of block off, like I'm going to show you right now, facing to the south. Okay. Actually, this one would come this way. This would come this way. Ceiling here. Full block offs. Just some metal material. Not a big deal. Then you work them out here. And what do? We finish them with my finisher. Just like this here. And I've gone over this finisher time and time again, and I'm still going to go over it with you. All right. And then you just work off of what we got here. Or you can go ahead and continue to line it down with the electric field combo if you wish. It's entirely up to you. I like the block off better because there's a reason why we're doing this. I want to teach block offs early in your journey. I want you to become familiar with them. I want you to feel comfortable with them. I want you at any given time to come in here and know that you can build them and understand why you're building them. Okay? That is very, very, very important to understand that. Okay. This would just come here then. You could block this off here too if you wish. They don't come over here though, so you really don't need it. I leave this open so that they can work their way in both directions if they want. Because you have to be mindful of this section over here. Okay. Just like this here. You can go and wrap around like this too. And I always have this thing where direction, right? Paying attention to the direction where the enemies could go. All right. Anti-air trap. All right, but anyway, this will take care of what you need here. And this, if you're willing to take the time early in your journey and build this here and start practicing. Remember, this is practice. This is preparation for 10 Storm Shield defenses in the future, right? If you're willing to put the work in right now, and I guarantee you, only 1 out of every 100 people that probably watch this are going to do this here. But if you're that one person that does it,
Nope.
And you keep that same mindset through Stonewood all the way through the end game, when those limited time modes like Frost Knight, Survive the Horde, your end game content comes, you are going to be a leader and not a follower. You're going to be the one that is, out there. And people are going to want to play the game with you. They're going to want your help in the game, right? If you don't want somebody else doing it for you and you want to flip the script and do it for yourself, put the time in here. Take your time, invest your research. What else are we investing in right now? Right? Your endurance for Plankerton already. I want you to build this. I want these block offs here. I want that tier 3 metal put away. Again, my madness has meaning always. All right. Put it in here. Invest the time. Go back and farm a few vehicles. Go run that mat grinder a few waves. Go get some more metal. Look at all this metal that we've got from that material grinder now as I'm running it and we're collecting. But if you just want to throw some tires up above the spawn and call it a day, by all means, choose your fate. That's how I always say. Choose your fate, friends. All right. That's only going to carry you so far in this game. It truly will. All right, now through this first block up here, I want the dart. I'm going to go ahead here or edit. Now this one here, believe it or not, if they come here, it's both ways, but you could either face that to the south or the southeast. Both will work just fine. You open this up. This is an actual sound wall trap out here. This is a sound wall trap right here. Just in case you get some propane here and here. All right. On the build over here, this would be a couple of anti-air traps here and out over here, facing to the south, in case you get lobbers that love to stand and lob at your trap tunnels. Let's get this all upgraded up here.
Nope. Whoa, sorry.
Yeah, we're just making sure everything is tier 3'd across the board. Every single tile. To include the block off back here, right? And then what you can do is, again, once this is done and you don't get attacked here anymore in the future, right? You'll break it all down. You'll have resources available to be able to repurpose into your new builds. It's just kind of an awkward little area here where you can get attacked from different locations. So we need to address it. Remember, this series isn't provided so you can come in and cookie, cut and paste a build. We're going to slow it down. We're going to go over it. I want to take you, what am I thinking, right? What are you thinking? If you just copy and paste someone's build, you don't understand the who's, what's, when's, where's, and why's, and all that kind of good stuff. It's not going to serve you well, right? So I really want to take time. I'm not here to rush this series. My goal is to have one of the most in-depth tutorial series that are available for right now for the game. And as such, I want to invest this time. I don't care if the episodes take 3 hours a shot, man. I'll give you that time if it makes a difference for just one player out there. It's worth it to me. Being a full-time content creator, I take it serious. I want to make sure you get the most out of it if I can help you. All right. And another thing here too is if you ever have openings on your builds, the enemies can stop here and start lobbing. Please don't leave openings to your amplifiers here. And then everything otherwise is tier 3 and ready to rock and roll. See a little bit of area here, but I don't ever have any issues with enemies. Walking up here and down and around. If they do, let them, right?
Nope.
I don't have any issues over here. Okay. So anyway, this is all upgraded to tier 3. We'll go one last time and do our checks just to make sure. And then we will finish our block offs to the southeast here in this scenario. Middle center walls all taken care of, right? We've got this here. Metal's out again, but that's okay. Where we need to be. I actually like this one here. You could also do an onion style here, like this, and edit like this. That is not a bad look either. Your dart would actually shoot through this block off behind. You'd open this up here as you're working through. Okay, let's go grab a bit more metal, and then we'll get to the trapping. And then we'll go work on our next amplifier. And my recommendation with your storm shields, if you can't solo them, please don't complete them. The game's telling you as a trapper and builder, you're not ready to move on. Or based on your power, your skill set, whatever, right? Don't have overpowered teammates with their overpowered abilities and schematics and that. Don't run and gun through them. Put the weapons down. Practice here.
Whoa, sorry.
Sorry to repeat that, but it's my mission kind of when I do content. I just do it a lot different, I know, than most. The tower defense game, it gets often overlooked these days. It's too much weapon play, not enough trapping and building, right?
Whoa,
We need some more trappers and builders. Same thing here now. Dart would shoot through. We'll go ahead with our upgrades.
Yeah, not possible.
Same type deal here, though. Right. You could go ahead and onion this. And let me just open this up for a minute. All right. And then just turn it like that. What? Have the dart coming through there. Not a bad look, man. Then you'd have your sound wall here and out here. These would be darts in here, lining around. A wooden floor spikes on this entrance. On this entrance. And to be honest with you, when it comes to this build, I would just line them all the way down and through and store for future use. I'm not even kidding. I would just, if you have the loot, man, instead of putting in your storage, just line these all down. Remember though, you only need one tile, and then you have 1, 2.5 of slowing to get to this point. Then they can work up. But I like to reintroduce here so they get 1, 2.5 up of slowing. So you could theoretically get rid of this one here if you don't want it. Okay. Then you'd have your darts here. And this is all darts right here. Just line your darts all the way around here. Then you've got some gas trap action if you want it. And at the entry point here, I'd run gas here. And I come all the way down here. And I'd run my gas right here. Dart shooting through there, keep in mind. Then they work in. And right in here, it's just wooden floor spikes down, man. All right, I would run wooden floor spikes all the way to this point, and then maybe a couple of tars here, middle center, here and here. In case you get a charge for some reason, which you shouldn't. Another thing I see often, I see freeze traps and tar pits way too early in trap tunnels. Remember, with this trap, every husk that crosses it takes a durability from you. Right? When you make more than 1/3 edits, you have a chance of clogging of your trap tunnels where bad things can happen. All right, something to think about there.
Whoa, sorry.
But this trap here is so good, and very few use it. And in my opinion, it's the best trap in all of Save the World. Hands down. Not because of the damage, but because of the mechanic of it all. All right, you've got darts in here and all these. It's just pretty self-explanatory now. It's darts around. And it's dynamos with these. People ask me why I use these walls here over the 1/3 or double windows, right? 1/3 is weaker. If something explodes inside there, you're probably going to lose it. The windows, if you run double window, you're very dependent upon when that light triggers for the dart to go. I like this one here. I've heard people saying that the darts are shooting through the solid. To me, my understanding through my testing has always been just through the window opening. But again, if you're still getting the extra darts through, that's a bonus, right? Game changes, different ways of looking at it. All right. Then you go down, a couple of wall launchers here to push them in the kill box. And then you have your 2 tires over your shoulder, facing the same direction into this box. And then boom, you start working some electric fields in here. And you have yourself a real nice, strong, quality, devastating build. Good luck. And you're learning how to use all the different mechanics of the traps here. All right. Then in the finisher, it's always the darts in across the board as we're working in and through. Okay, you'd have your zapper over the shoulder here. Again, you theoretically could open this wall up and throw a dynamo again if you want. Right? Meaning I could come in here. Let me just walk in here. Right. Go here. If it knocks it back, you'd have your dart shooting through here instead. You don't need this, by the way. I just want to be very clear on that. Right? And you throw your dynamo right here. You get a couple. You still get the dart shooting through. And I'd go electric field right here for the finisher. Okay, wooden floor spike. You start over again. I would go gas right here. And then this is a dart. And this is a dynamo. They're working through the walls here. You could go another sound wall trap here, believe it or not. It'd be a nice little play. Remember, they both fire at the same time, though. Only affects one. Do note, too, that the wooden floor spikes, tar pits, and freeze can work against the dance effect a little bit on that. And then typically when I had the wooden floor spikes on openings, I got the gas trap. Right, we'll get into trap rolls down the future. I do plan on covering all those. All right, and then the enemies just start working their way through and around. And you can either go electric fields here if you want. Maybe one electric field right here. You could go back to back on the gas if you want. It really comes down to what you want to do. Then they work up. Nice little area here for your broadside traps. I do like a dart shooting up the back side here. Believe it or not, if a smasher or a blaster or taker comes up here, you could throw dynamos up on these walls. They would play for you, right? If you have that occur. Truly would. All right. Got the dart there. This is a dynamo right here. Your other dart shoots through here. You can use tires right here, straight back and down. Anything more than 1 tile. You don't want tires at 1 tile high. But if you have that downward slope and it's more than 1, you can roll those tires down this hill here. And they will work. All right. But we'll go electric field. I just want to point out, then of course you got your dart shooting through at the end. All right. So that really does cover you when it comes to this build. And it is absolutely nasty. But again, it's not so much about clearing Storm Shield Defense number 3. It's more about understanding trapping, building, and storing for the future. That's really what the focus is here, and I do recommend it. Then what you want to do is you would want to consider, right, your base placement. And again, typically I like that. I'll put one like a base placement here if I want it, right? If you don't want to cover that, now this would cover up here for you, right? With your base placement, it would stretch. I like it back there. It's spread both ways. Typically, you'd want it middle center, but you don't want your block off down the main pathing of your build. Usually off to the side is my recommendation. And then you've got this trap tunnel here. I would come down in this area. I would probably right here put a base placement here, if you wish. So this would cover here on the attack. If you have the other attack this way, it would cover down here, especially. Now, if you have a teammate that's at your same power level, like two of you are new to Save the World, you guys are both have the same, you know, you're at the same level when it comes to your home base level, you have the same traps, hero levels. Nothing wrong with having a teammate early if you're both on the same level. But often that's not the case. And then that takes care of everything, start to finish, of the time that I would invest and resource I'd invest through here. And this has an electric fill, by the way, on the outside of here. Through the builds. You have taken care and thought about everything and anything that could occur and go wrong. And as a reminder, when you have that attack from this direction, make sure you are standing back this way and back and out and farming maybe these trees. Remember, anything you farm during the endurance or storm shield will regenerate after it ends. But anything you break down before is gone forever. And then we've even thought about our anti-air traps there, right? They're taken care of. And then you have this little section over here, right? If you're worried about lobbers and flingers, again, just make sure you get a couple of anti-airs popping up here. All right, to each is their own, right? I would probably come in here and throw a couple here and here. Or you can go here and here, right? Both are great. Here and here would be fantastic. In case something stands back here and tries to lob at you. And notice how I always have them at the beginning. That's where they lob at. They try to blow your trap tunnels up at the front. They're not trying to get to the amp most of the time. They're trying to get here. Now, if you have a naked or no build amp, please be mindful that the enemies become more interested and they will throw at you. All right. So as such, when you get your amplifiers, I would go ahead with some anti-air traps on these as well, from the directions or attacks that you'd be facing, right? So you can face an attack here, throw an anti-air trap for the attack here. If you're worried about over here, something leaking, throw one over here. If you're worried about the side over here, throw it here. And then over here on the back side, especially if you're doing war games, which that's why we're here building this after all, right? Throw it here. Remember, we're also building for war games, guys. Not just this defense, but your war games. Get those 60 evolution materials every single day. That's how you'd handle your amplifier, though. And then what I would do, too, now that you're not getting attacked anymore, you already have your anti-airs up top, right? I'd put a healing trap here, too, for your war games. All right, but that covers now your home base adjustments, your east or alpha amplifier up this way. And we are going to go over here now and talk about the Bravo. And as a reminder, your box or opening is right here and or working through here typically. Now, your attacks, again, from this amplifier would come from the east, the south, and the west. So, as I just mentioned before, we're going to go ahead with the anti-air traps on the core in case something leaks through, especially war games like this. And then on the back side here would be your healing pad. Because if you die in war games, it's over, right? I don't recommend placing, if you're doing war games or storm shield, excuse me. I would leave the top open so you can put your base here. Because I'd put your base here more so. I always show you on the builds where you can put your base. But I always typically recommend you keep it on your amplifier because that's where they're going to beat you at. Right? That's what they're trying to hit so they can beat you. And if you protect it, they can't beat you. All right, so something to think about there. All right. So that takes care of your amplifier. Now, what they like to do here is spawn up in this section. Remember, this stuff's gone if you remove it forever. If you want to remove these bushes, use your obliterator. Building pieces do not remove it, unfortunately, but your obliterator will. Now, because they've made changes to defenders, we're going to probably be tucking that obliterator away now. It's not as game-changing anymore, I have to admit. But again, we did not know. Before the change to the defenders, it absolutely was. But now, not so much. Unfortunately, it's just not. All right. So they have drop points here, but I would start everything with your build. These two tiles. We'll have your opening here and here. All right. You could go here, here, here. Open this up. Could do the same thing over here in case something were to leak. So meaning you would have 1, and you've got 1, 2, and to the 3 here. Could go another sound wall trap here. Can go sound walls in here. Spawn will be here. If you want some ceiling drop traps out the front, you can go with those up here. Completely and entirely up to you. And then what I would do is I'd have 2 anti-air traps right up top. Be aware that if you put ceiling drop traps with anti-airs, can cause a bit of lag on you. So perfect here. And again, let me just show you for a minute because we're doing tutorial, right? We'll just craft a weapon with wherever we're at. Go ahead and grab your obliterator. Remember, craft your weapons only in missions. Right. And then you can just shoot these bushes down and you're golden. And I actually like myself to break down the resource here. And we'll take that with us. All right, so that takes care of all of this. Now, I would avoid trying to send enemies in areas you don't want them. That's an important note. So when it comes to ceiling drop traps, in this case, I put one straight back here, and then I would turn it sideways here just to kind of keep them over, and then your dart would shoot through. Now, these two over here, though, you could definitely go side to side with them. But try not to put enemies down where you don't want them, where they can kind of work their way up and around to get after you. We're going to take care of that little section down here. So this is all good. And then early on as I'm upgrading, I'll just put a temporary floor down here, right? You just put it there temporarily. Right, you can go ceiling here, right? You could theoretically just wrap it all the way around. That way it doesn't fall on you. But you don't need these tiles. Keep that in mind, okay? You don't need them, but we'll put them there nonetheless. So that's all good. Tires, anti-airs. They work down. I like this right here with a ceiling.
Okay.
This right here with a ceiling. I'd open up a window here. And I would open up a window right here. And come down to this point. Floors. Just like this here. Wrap around. And into here. And here. These would be a couple of ceilings. And this would be interesting now on how you want to handle it. Now for me, when I'm running this area, right, I would put and create one of those finishers that I like to run. So you'd have your boom finisher right here. Wall would go here. This goes here. And they work their way out. And then you just finish here. Right, you'd have a dart here, maybe a dart out here, and you just finish it. And then up above, right here and here, I'd have a couple more darts. Now this one will be a little bit more interesting because you got to find yourself a base placement, right? So it's going to be kind of tricky here. We're going to almost need to, but I'd go right over the finisher with your base placement here. And then we'll just go ahead and make sure everything's tier 3 and upgraded, looking right as rain. And these husks are going to have a bad day. I promise you that. Right. Please don't overlook tier 3ing your items. If you want another one over here, right, you just come out here and extend it. Or you put a floor piece to extend it. I would have these just to finish in case something gets through. Again, we're storing for the future. So we're not too concerned about it. Okay, dart would shoot out and through this way. You can actually now, if you build this way, your dart can come through here. All right, this comes down, you upgrade it, you open the windows here and here.
Nope.
Now, another thing you could do is you could turn these into kill boxes. All right, you come here, you open this here, you put a floor here, and here. All right, you'd have your 1/3 walls here and here. And here and here. Wall launcher goes here and here. I would go wooden floor spikes here, here, and here, and back over here. Electric field would be in this box. In this box, this would be your gas trap. Facing here. And right here. Inside the hole in the wall here would be this. Inside would be this. And then on the outside, you'd have your 2 sound walls here and right here. Or if you don't want the kill boxes here, just do a hole in the wall, shoot the dart through, put your sound walls here. Just giving you options once again on however you wish to run it.
New follower.
Something to think about. Right, darts are coming through here. Darts are coming through there. All right. Now just make sure everything above is tier 3 if you can. Don't overlook anything. All right, let's go get a little bit more metal. Note how I always keep the opening above. You'll seal that down once you're active. And just look out, man, right? These guys are smoked. Okay. But anyway, you come in here and you run your dynamos around.
Nope.
Just like I'm doing here. Wrap them all the way around.
Oh, sorry.
Right? This here's an electric field. This here's an electric field. Right. Your darts are going to shoot through the openings that we created right here and here. Just shoot those darts through. Again, that's 1, 2, and into the box at 3, they're going to shoot through to this point as soon as they enter. they're just getting hammered, man. All right. And then you go down. And now this area is a little interesting because you could get some smasher play. Could you go ahead and run 4 tar pits here because you got a full snare plus your 1, 2.5 out? You absolutely could. I'm just going to go back here though with it, and I'm going to go ahead and put some more wooden floor spikes here. Again, I like to preserve that trap for the very end. You can just throw your wooden floor spikes here. And then these are just darts. You could also do the broadside here and here if you wish. I prefer the dart because of the reload speed. More consistency. It completely and is entirely up to you on how you want to handle that otherwise, though. All right, this time we won't do the dynamo. We don't want them getting cute over there on that side. Okay, dart here, here, and here. All right. Zapper here would be over. I'm just going to go straight over back shoulder this time because, again, I don't really want them over on that wall too much. And then you finish with the electric field. All right. And then that would cover your attack, or what I would do when it comes to the west. Big difference when you build and trap like this, or you just try to spawn trap with tires and hope to call it a day. Again, mark my words. You use that style, when you get to the end game, you're going to get burnt. You're going to struggle when you can't get teammates in lobbies. When the game has bugs and you don't have matchmaking, you're going to have to play solo in your journey at times. Just based off those factors alone. All right. This is going to carry you a lot further. So something to think about. But again, different play styles. To each their own. Okay, so that would cover this. And then again, they're trying to attack here, but I'm just going to go ahead and leave this be. I would, in case you had something here, I would just throw a couple of darts in this little pocket here in case for some reason something leaked. I don't even, there's no way. I don't see it, but if it happens, you're protected. But you're also protected from this side. So let's go up here now. Talk about the south direction. So again, trying to get into that box area. Up here, I want you to go ahead and do a full block off here, facing to the southwest. Well, let's call it partial because we're not going to do the floor there. Again, what you were looking for with your floor, let me just show you for a moment. If you edit the floor and it shows through, you can run it. So we'll call it full block off. But if it doesn't show through, then don't run it. That's the key. Up top, you'd have a pyramid here. And to be honest with you, I would wrap full block offs all the way around here. Just like you're seeing me do. I really would. This would face here. This faces here. And you wrap it around the opening here. See how we did that? Okay. Pyramids go here, here, here. Your metal wall to split the difference. And then, of course, you got your ceiling pieces. I would absolutely and without question build that right there. And it keeps all of the enemies from getting cute on you. You do have an area around here where they could try to walk around and come up this way. So be mindful of it, please. And I would go here. Now, again, if you could get a full block off piece on the floor, right? And you actually see it working through there, you could run it. Now, I'm going to keep this all at tier 1, though, because I do not have the ability to level that up out there. I would throw a pyramid here and a wall. You could do an additional block off if you are concerned here. It's not a bad move. Facing to the east. You don't want them coming up here and get back here and lob it at you. And they will try. Just block that off back there and block this off here. And I'd seal that down too. So let's get everything tiered up. We'll keep that other one over there at tier 1 as mentioned.
Nope. Oh, sorry. Yeah, not possible.
And that should square us away.
Nope.
Now, you have an area here and here. And while we're allowing this to upgrade here, let me see if I can finish it for just a moment. Actually, this is a partial because you don't have the back wall on it. Remember that.
Whoa, sorry. Nope.
And then what you're going to do is just face your pyramids with the direction your floors are facing. Right? And same thing over here. Just face it in that direction. Please do this block off. They will try to get queued up here if you don't. You'll also need to be mindful of that when you're running endurance. All right. So that takes care of all that block off. Just leave that all at tier 1. All right, working down this way now.
Sorry.
There's a little pathway here.
Let's see.
I like to run darts here. Okay. Just like that. And then just run your darts through here.
Possible. Nope.
And then everything gets upgraded. You'll have your spawn up here. They'll try to leak around and drop down and work into here. And they'll try to stand out here and get after you. Now you have 2 options here. You could continue, if you wish now, to run your darts here. 1, 2, and 3, right? Or you can open this up and build yourself a little trap tunnel. This is truly to each as their own. Got to stress it. Okay, so this would go here, ceiling here. I actually like a little bit of a block off back here so they don't mess about with you. Facing it out this way to the southwest. This is what I would do, but if you want to just run the darts, that'll be fine too. Gives you more practice and more storage capacity. We can store some more loot, right? One-third wall, so they don't cut your tunnel. You really want them to hit back here.
Whoa, sorry.
That would cover all this. Then you work your way up. Again, I like the pyramid on natural terrain if you're going to build it.
What to build?
Okay. Little block off right here. Or you can create a kill box here too. Or a finishing box. All right, like I like to do. All right, and just kind of finish them out here. Walls will go here. You wrap around. I like an opening here. Wrap in here. Same thing here. I like an opening here. Down you go. Down you go. So I would go ahead and keep all the darts here that I've shown you. And then as mentioned, I'd work this. Let me go in here for just a moment and go get some more material. This also gives you an idea how much material we're spending on the build, or we're storing. Remember, storage, right? We're storing it outside of our storage so we can put all of our extra goodies away inside of our regular storage here. Because when you're new, you're going to have some trouble, especially if you're farming a lot. Honestly, right here, I would probably just go ahead and work on a block off back here. That way they don't get queued on you. So same kind of thing. If you can see the floor, place it. If you can't, don't. See, I can't see it there? I wouldn't place it. This would be a pyramid at the end, and then I'd drop 2 walls here.
I see.
Want to be very clear, though. Do you need all this? Absolutely not. This is only if you want to go this route. Otherwise, just run your darts and block off those 2 tiles here. Right?
Yeah,
Dart here. Dart shoots through here. This all gets upgraded. And then we start working up all the way around. Making sure we're not overlooking anything. I would put that one there too. Up you go. These get here. This goes here. And you are golden.
Whoa, sorry.
But be mindful of the area. Take care of the area.
Yeah, not possible.
You could actually throw a dart through here. Right here. You could go here. You could run sound wall traps if you wanted to through here, if you're worried about propane as well. I say the Donna or the broadside, but you can also run those.
Not possible.
And then what I like to do is run the wooden floor spikes all the way to this point, and then again 2 tars at the end to finish it. Darts are shooting through. These 2 traps here would be a dynamo and a dynamo.
Yeah, not possible.
And then otherwise, it's going to be darts for me. Again, you're more focused about the smashers, the blasters here. Again, I do not recommend the broadside like others do.
Sorry.
I don't use it that much like others do either. Too slow on the reload. I stand by that. Way too slow.
Nope.
Doesn't provide you the consistency. If you want a base placement at the end, you could put, I'd just put it right here above your block off again. That's if you want it. Okay, and then these walls would finish you off and you're protected. Tier 2 on it. You could also place it, if you could access it, right in this area here, over that block off. Do not place the block off on the natural pathing of the husk up through your trap tunnel, though. Just at the very end, if you want. They'll stop and try to target it, believe it or not. They try to get cute. All right. And then your mechanics would all be the remainder, as we have, with the exception of, I'm going to put a sound wall right here. You should get some propane. I'd go dart here. I'd still go gas at the entry point. Right here. I'd work up. You can run ceiling drop traps here and roll them down. Or you can work electric fields. It really is a playstyle choice. I, believe it or not, I do. I'll kind of come in here and I'll just roll them back down. But here's the thing too. When you roll back down in your trap tunnels, you can cause clogging and bad things can happen as well. So just something, we'll just go electric fields actually as a result. But right here, I believe it or not, I'm going to go gas again above my wooden floor spike. And then you got your dynamo on the backside. And as you work up and in and out and around, electrofill will be here. And this would be your zapper. And I'll go this way because I don't care if they are. And then your dart would clean them up. And the block off would keep them curious. And then you could have your base. And they're not getting here, by the way. Again, we're thinking of the future. That could be a potential build for your endurance, by the way. All right. And then everything else here is what it is. You could come out here if you are concerned. And run darts as well up here. I'm going to let you choose on this. This is a complete and total extra if you need it. And actually, I wouldn't do it here either. I would come down one more tile and do it here. Just watch and see like where they could stand and try to throw at you. Right. So 3 here. Again, that is completely and totally extra only if for some reason you feel like you want it or need it. I do not think it's necessary. Because they'll stand here and they'll try to lob at you. And those darts would protect you. And then we'll talk about up here.
Yeah, not possible.
Let's make sure everything's tiered up.
Whoa, sorry. Nope.
All right. And then everything is taken care of. And all of that is good. This is all good. The other side is good now.
Nope.
All right. You're all taken care of here. Then you start working out over here. All right. This area. Now down through here. I'm going to go with that dynamo combo that we were running earlier. Electric fields. And +2, I want to show you some different techniques in the video. This is going to be a pretty simple one here, though. I'm going to go get my material one more time. Keep in mind, too, you're actually getting credit for all your structures while you are building here on your challenge quest for your banner. It's another reason why we are investing here, your time. They'd work right down through here. This is your opening, your floor, your 1/3 wall. Down we go. Out into the finisher that, again, that I recommend. Out you go. Boom. Boom. And boom. And if you want another dart here and here, you could have them. That's extra if you want it. Not necessary. Most likely. All right. Now, if you want ceiling drop traps here, you could run them. And then all you need to do is come up top here and throw your 2 anti-air traps here and here. Right? In this particular build, because we're not running block off, right? I'd take a look. I'd probably put your base over here. And then we're just going to go ahead and upgrade everything.
Not possible.
Believe it or not, you do not need these floors here. Over there, I just had a couple floors down. These floors right here, you don't need these. Okay. Then we'll just come in with your traps. Right down the way here with the wooden floor spikes into a couple of tar pits. You'd have your electric fields on this side and over here on this side. In the future, you're going to want a couple different reloads for this action. Your gas traps will go right down middle center. Dart would come here. I'm going to open this up, believe it or not. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and shoot a dart through this wall right here. This is your sound wall trap. This is your sound wall trap. Right out here are darts. And then we'll go ahead and make sure we finish up all of our upgrades.
Oh, sorry.
And on both sides here will be your dynamos. Okay. You'd have your dart shooting through here in both walls, both sides. Just another technique, something similar to what we had in the previous Storm Shield, right? And then you work your way down. A couple of tar pits here at the end. And then you have your darts. People ask me often how I do this solo Frost Knights, hordes, hit the roads, right? Dungeons. It's because of this kind of stuff. I was always willing to put the effort in to and push myself when it came to trapping and building. Even this early in my journey, I did. I'm not even kidding you. I really did. Sorry, that needs to be tier 2 stone. And this is your electric field at the end. All right, and then that would take care of this side here. And then if you are worried about lobbers and flingers, over here, right over here, and for some reason you're worried about them, right, you could put an anti-air trap facing out this way right here. You could actually probably go back to back there with them. You could actually throw a ceiling one here too, if you wanted. Or just throw a ceiling up here and drop one here. When you're running endurance, you need a lobber shield section here. Talk about that though in the future when we get there, down the road. I will cover endurance like I did the Stonewood. I'll do a separate video so it's relatable, not just to new players with tutorial in the beginning. We'll do a full build. And then I'll give you my recommendations at the end of traps. And then once you can get there with them, then you run them. All right. This will also help here too in case some propane gets thrown. Oh, and these are your ceiling drop traps. The more I look at this, I would probably go like this, to be honest with you. I wouldn't even worry about this one. I would address this here, for sure. In case you get a lobber flanger standing here, wanting to get after you. It's kind of funny when you just start looking at it, how you can... Yeah, maybe we need this, right? So... And of course, you got your anti-air here. Could throw one back there, too. Anyway, that would conclude our south attack now.
Whoa, sorry.
Ceiling drop traps here. I'd go here. I'd go straight back and straight back. I would not try to force them over here so they could get interested. I'd keep them away from this section. I'd just go straight back with them. This ended up being a long one for us today, my friends. All right, and then down we go. Everything is tier 3. Just double check. Base placement's good.
Sorry.
Anti-air traps are good. Again, if you want another anti-air trap over here, right, and based on where they're throwing, you just seal it down. Maybe I go in here in this corner. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. I'd face it this way. You could actually throw it down here too, believe it or not. If you want it down here instead, save yourself the tile material. All right, you just throw it here. That's a nice placement as well. If you're looking for 2. And then this, because you have it here, I would throw a tire drop top. Ceiling drop trap. Remember though, lag can occur if you do that on top. You don't have to put that trap there if you're worried about lag. All right, so out we go here, and then we'll go take a look at our final location.
Yeah, not possible.
Which would be your east attack down in through here. You actually do have a couple of areas to be mindful of. Remember, there are many different ways to build and trap and save the world. We're just throwing it up for you here today, okay?
Okay.
We'll do some timeout boxes here for you. Please be mindful here. You do not want to connect your builds to your amplifiers. I would come down here instead. Throw this tire, and I'd just leave this outside alone. Okay, let's go grab our material. Now, if you use your trap for some reason accidentally, you'd want to break that trap down and put a new one in. Okay, reset the trap. Come here with it. We'll place it there. I'm going to leave it edited so I don't forget to upgrade it, and then we'll come back and put it in the future.
Not possible.
I'm just using a different technique out here for you guys.
Sorry.
Instead of the ceiling drop traps. All right, and then you'd have your anti-air traps. You'd have 2 of them out here and here. I would still go with the finisher here. You wouldn't need this here. Just a nice little trap tunnel here. You would have some more sound wall traps.
Nope.
In case you're worried for propane. And there we have it. And you start working your sound wall traps. Darts, dart, dart. Gas trap. Wooden floor spikes, back to back, all the way down. Tar pit at the end.
Sorry. Yeah, not possible.
Please avoid, in tight fits, the freezes, especially the retractable floor spikes. Smashers hate those. The freeze can cause clogging at times. Be mindful of that. Just giving you tips. Take them as you will, my friends, right? We could have actually shot through there, but we don't need to. These are your dynamos. These are your electric fields. These will be your ceiling drop traps over your shoulders. 1/3 wall is the maximum I ever recommend running to keep them on this edge, so these just a little bit better on the movement for you. This is your tar pit, and then you have your darts on the way out. And then your finishing zapper at the end, and we'll go and try to push them to the south. Opens us up a little bit. Remember, this is for smashers at the end, typically. All right, and that will take care of this little section. Out here, I would go ahead with a couple of anti-air traps here, and I'd actually put one over here so you're not on top of your tower here. Okay. And then you would want to have a place for your base if you want to play, put it, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. Remember, we had that at tier 1 on purpose. Okay, you have this area right here now, and this area right here. Same kind of thing. Please pay attention to it and don't overlook it.
I see.
Right up here, I would do a block off. One, two, into the 3. Same thing here now. You don't want to connect your base. All right, so here we go. If that's connected, we got to remove it. Just nothing we could do about that in the end. Shoot the dart through here instead. Okay, you have this section right here too where they walk up. So you're going to have 2 different sections meeting into one here.
What to build?
Dart here.
Sorry.
Dynamo here. I'll walk you through at the end. Okay. And this should be our last run for material.
Yeah, not possible.
And then what we'll do is we'll finish it up here, and then we'll do our defense for you.
Whoa, sorry.
Here, I would do 2 block offs. Here. And right here. Okay. Base placement would go right here. Or, if you are connecting the 2 bases, right, a real nice place could be right here for you as well. But see how it's on the main trap tunnel? I wouldn't recommend it. I would put a dart here, by the way. Because enemies could try to come over here and work off this here. So you might want to do a full block off there, honestly. And I think we will, to be safe. Or we'll call it partial because we're not going to edit the floor. Okay, make sure you take care of that. Oh,
Sorry.
you don't want them getting cute. I might go a 3rd block off there, actually, more I look at it.
Yeah, not possible.
Yeah, I think we'll go a 3rd here. That way they come up and they meet here. Okay, you'd have your sound ball here. 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 Could run a dart here. You want a little extra juice?
Oh, sorry. Nope.
And then once everything's tier 3, we're going to go ahead and start, you know, sealing it on down. In here, I would have a dart shooting here and here. This would open here, and this would open here. I would have a dart shooting through here.
Sorry. Yeah, not possible.
All right, you're golden. Dart be here and here. Dynamo right here. Dynamo on this side. Dart across. Same thing here, wooden floor spikes. We'll run the wooden floor spikes up through it. Make sure everything's tier 3. I would actually go ahead here and do a sound wall trap. You could actually go back to back with them if you wish. But I would throw a sound wall right there. Right there. Yeah, we'll just make sure everything's the proper tier. This is a dart here.
Yeah, not possible. Whoa, sorry.
You could throw another ceiling drop trap right here too.
I see. All right.
You could throw ceiling drop traps up here too.
Nope.
Right. I would actually do this here. Maybe not. Instead, though. Okay. And in fact, what I would probably do here is I would change this for a moment. I would shoot the dart through here.
Whoa, sorry.
This would come here, and this would open here.
Yeah, not possible.
It really is fun when you can come in here and just kind of mess around and not be in a hurry. It's another thing to remind yourself of with your home base level. Don't be in a hurry.
Nope.
Right, leave the opening here in case they want to drop through.
Whoa, sorry.
And again, out there, you could throw that ceiling drop trap if you want it. Right here. And then these would be two anti-air traps. I know we have the extension, but I like the extension here, believe it or not. I really do. I'd go in here, I'd throw that sound wall trap. I'd throw this here. And then they work down in. This here. This could be a dart, or you could do this here. Give me a second. Sorry, just a moment. Get another dynamo through here.
Whoa, sorry.
Finish your block off. Another thing you could do too over here if you want to run sound walls, but you don't need to. Just make sure you got your dart here. That takes care of you. If anything gets cute over here, you can shoot a dart across there too. All right. I mean, you can go on and on and on if you wanted to. We don't need the, again, I know we don't need it. I'm just trying to give you some, remember, it's a tutorial series, right? You can take bits and pieces of all these different techniques and make it your own. That's what you want to do anyway, right? Anytime I get a chance to show you just a little damage or something, I want to give it, give you an opportunity on it. Then your wooden floor spikes will go down.
Whoa, sorry.
I actually think I like 2 here. Because you can't do your finisher here. I'd go back to back here on the tar. And I would just run gas down here. This would be electric field though in the pocket. So with this, I'd probably go, you can go gas again, or you could go electric field here. I might mix in gas again. I do the electric field here because they're going to be cutting corners and working through. Dart's there. Dart dynamo, dart. And dart shoots through on the base. That's your entry. Don't need it. Remember that dart 1, 2, and 3 across would hit from that tunnel there. This is all good here. Base is there. And we are golden. Just get it all upgraded one last time. Make sure your sound walls and anti-airs are all squared away where you need them. Don't overlook them. We've got our 2 out there. That's good. All right. I would probably come over here again and drop 2 out here. And then overall, that would be start to finish.
Whoa,
right?
Sorry.
How you can go about building and trapping for not only your Plankerton Storm Shield Defense number 3, but where you don't ever have to come back and touch it again throughout all 10. Right? And that's my goal here. So when you look at the time on it, you're like, oh man, 2 hours. It's because I'm preparing you for all of them. So when we get to the end, the videos will be faster. Right? But we got to put the time in early. All right, and then we'll just run some dynamos through here. And then any openings that we have would be darts again. Get this in here, get your tar pit here, and then run your dynamos through your openings. Okay. You could have a sound wallet here, by the way, too. Problem is, if these both fire at the same time, right, you're only going to get the effects of one of them, though.
Whoa, sorry.
But absolutely nasty. All right, they're going to have a hell of a time coming through here at you. All right, so let's go ahead then. And let's operate this thing. And let's do what we do. Let me just get my final trap here, though, before we go.
Here we go! Shield power increasing. Prepare for an attack from the north.
And let's go ahead now and take on our defense number 3. And just reminding you, we did build in advance for all of our storm shields. If you have defenders, right, I would tell you to position them at this point. Do want to point out the spawns to you and how far out they actually go. That's why we addressed our different areas, right? But while it is going, especially if you're utilizing defenders, which you don't need to do, by the way, we're going to go get our farm on. As a reminder, too, if you're going to farm, make sure that you remove all of your resource out of your inventory. Let me go down here for a minute. That way you're not leaving the extra wood and stone that you're finding on the ground. And there are a couple of key areas I want you to farm here when it comes to this particular area. So we do want to be mindful of them and point them out to you. Now, as a reminder, if you are standing in the wrong area, the enemies can get a little bit more interested in you. You'll hear the flingers coming now. All right, you'll see him there. I want to point him out. See how he stands back there? And now he's down because we took care of him, right? And then we've got the enemies going. But that dart there, I wanted to point it out. Again, everything that we're covering, I'm doing for a reason. Now, you can farm these deposits here, and I recommend that you do so. Please don't overlook this opportunity. Don't farm these out before either. Got an opportunity to get some material here. That's one of the key areas you'd be wanting to be mindful of. We are in Rock and Rift with our hero loadout that I often recommend to you. It'll help your pickaxe, you know, be better. Don't forget about your base, too, if you want to place base. Now, we had a daily quest for Constructor. This area up here is really good, right? Vehicle this, but you can work down here now.
Another wave coming soon.
In this
Prepare for an
pit.
attack from the east.
And again, it is just loaded with resource. And every time you come in here and do a Storm Shield Defense and Endurance, if you don't farm this out before, you will be able to farm this every single time you start. Same thing with War Games, by the way, as well. And again, I want you to have the confidence when you're running your defense where you don't even have to worry about it. Right? You don't even need to look at it. You know it's that strong. Now you can see your pickaxe is working better with that loadout. It's very important, too, that your loadout is right when you're running your Storm Shields and Endurances in the future, in your war games. You know, make sure every, asset that you have within that support team, your commander, everything, is right. Remember, you don't need someone like Base Kyle if you're not, theoretically following. I like Base Kyle. I like Machina's Harper, too. Endurance is always Harper. But there you go, right? Very nice little area here to be taken care of. And then we'll go up and out and at them. And then what you'd want to do is we go over, collect the loot from the first wave where we were attacked, right? Let's go back down to the home base out in the field out here. And then you had your... remember, you have your supply drop as well. So wave 2 is an elimination wave.
We have a
Pretty self-explanatory, though.
Another wave coming soon. Prepare for an attack from the north.
Yeah. You'll see here, it looks like the spawn might have been here, but we have the dart shooting through, so we're golden. Yeah, it looks like there was a spawn down here. Or propane potentially now. But with the build, everything is clean, right? Again, prepare for the worst case scenario.
Yeah, not possible.
Okay, now we have a timed wave in through the north on the alpha. So I'm going to go ahead, place our base here. Be mindful you have your slow field. A fantastic asset, by the way.
Oh, husks, man.
Drop that at the beginning of your trap tunnels. It makes everything work better. And then we're going to shoot down and around. Looks like something tried to get queued over here. Or we may have farmed that out before. But again, go opposite end of where the enemies are. And get your farm on. This is how you can have a full stack of darts when you come into your Storm Shield in Plankerton. When you don't take time off. When you're not out in the field shooting unnecessarily like the enemies that are attacking you right now. Take your 3 minutes here and get your farm on. I gotta stand by that. I'll go back and show you the waves, or the spawn, excuse me, in just a moment. Let's get some planks. You know, we put some darts down now, so let's get our planks back, our twines. Our ores and powders from our stone, plus the material itself. And all this will be here the next time we enter, because we're farming it during. Also note how we sealed down the opening to our home base amplifier when you begin. If you wait till you hit the 000s there, right? The next time you're in, you'll still have the opening available, so you can just jump in and get after it.
Yeah, not possible. Nope. Build that arsenal.
And there you go. Now you're in Rock and Rift. That's your Breakbeat Wildcat. That's a recommended hero that we have in your journey. Hopefully you've, taken the advice to get that. Remember too, if you're just joining me for this series, I do have a playlist, links in the description below, for all of the episodes that we've covered here. And we're going to go through every mission, quest, Storm Shield Defense, even separately, plan on potentially working all the endurances. Amongst many, many other things. Many future videos on the main account for sure. Remember, this is a founder's account I purchased just for this series in particular. All right, so I got about a minute left. Let me go show you the spawns. So you're aware of them. All right. All the way up now. Down in the water. Working around and through. You can see how some were down there, but most of them are coming right down the main part of the tunnel. If they work around, we address that. You don't typically want to be standing on top of your builds or on your amplifier ever. Always be back and away if you can. Try to come back with about 30 seconds, collect your base loot, collect the field loot if you can, so you don't lose out on this stuff here.
You did it.
And that'll be your Storm Shield Defense number 3. Now, we will load out. I have some additional things that we need to do here. We're going to definitely verify that we can run our war games now after this defense. And then we do have a bonus Llama opening, and we have some discussion when it comes to Hestia and or your home-based command center. So when it comes to our rewards here, typically you're looking at mini reward llamas. Again, if you have a founder's account, you'll have both X-ray tickets and V-Bucks, or just X-ray tickets. Again, different XP amounts. We have an opportunity now for our expeditions. I do want to cover these again, and we want to run them routinely. All right, dirt bike, slot 2. Prop plane, slot 1. Rowboat, slot 2. And an additional survivor squad, our training team for the very first time. Now, from this point, it would be extremely important to go ahead and run your expeditions each and every time that you can. In order to access that, once again, you would go to your Hero tab under Expeditions, and eventually you're going to have 2 land, 2 sea, and 2 air. But of course, currently, we don't have that, or we are in our progression. But I'm going to walk you through and update you on what you do have and how we go about operating this section of the game. So if you are working your material grinder or farming routinely, you most likely do not need building mats when it comes to your wood, stone, and then of course metal, if that's available. In this case, with our land, I would select the trap pack opportunity. We have a medium stack here. When you go to access your vehicle, you can see now that we have our second slot available on our dirt bike. So we can send 2. Also want to note here that we have a ninja bonus potentially, if we have one available. And then our target squad power is 65. So what you want to do is select your first slot, and you would take a look at the heroes that you have available for you. Do want to point out, and you can see the difference, typically with an uncommon, you're at 15. But right now, if you use that ninja for the bonus, we go to 22. So we're going to do just that. And then our next hero, we'd want a hero that would put us potentially into the 100th percentile, like this hero would right here. So we're going to go ahead and select him. We will start our expedition, because we now see we have a 100% success chance rate, and that's where you want to be if you can. I've seen expeditions fail in the high 90s, and I've seen them succeed in the lower echelon when it comes to percentiles. Just make sure you're paying attention to the bonuses, and also note that your ninja bonus is only for the first slot. If you're working on your second seat or third seat, you would have additional hero classes here. All right. But then we're going to go ahead at 100%. We'll start our expedition. And these heroes won't be available for our collection book or use in loadouts till it returns. Your timer is right here, and it'll tell you for the next T-minus 15 hours, 59 minutes, and some change, we will not have access to them. At any time, though, you can come over here and abandon the expedition to regain access to your heroes, but you will not receive a resource in return. Something to note there. But anyway, that's our first vehicle to go with. Now, let's go over here to sea. We have an opportunity here for either the Tiny Titanic or From the Deep. Both are great. You do need survivors early on in your journey right now. I could not fault you here for either. Resources to cut down the farming. This here when it comes to your survivor squads. So let's once again go ahead and select. Take a look at our vehicle. All right, we only have access to the rowboat, but we have 2 slots available. So in this scenario, we'll go ahead and select slot. And we do have our soldier bonus here. So we'll select the soldier that we're not utilizing at the current time. And we're good to go. And then, of course, we would want an additional hero in the loadout. You know, most likely one that you are not going to be utilizing here in the foreseeable future. All right, if you can. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's just call it the dragon right now because we're not really focusing on the ninja class at this point in the journey. Again, we'd be at 100%. We know going in that we're going to receive something in return here. So let's go ahead and send it out. And this one will be out for a little bit less than 8 hours. And then our last slot would be the air. It'll tell us to go in and prepare the expedition. In this case, we have 2 bonuses, soldier and constructor. But we only have 1 seat available currently to us. So in that point, I would take my highest level hero that I would have available to me. All right. And we're going to call it right here to this guy. And we're going to send him out. And we'll get credit for our soldier class, but this time we are only at 15% of the 280 required. So it's more than likely not going to be successful. But however, as I pointed out, you can clear expeditions with this low percentile. I do want to note that. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and start that expedition. And then right here for the next, and we'll just count it and call it for what it is. A little less than 20 hours, the hero won't be available. So it's a good idea that you have extra heroes available for expeditions that you might not necessarily be running routinely in your hero loadouts. But do need to cover that for a moment, and we are good to go. Now, the other thing that we want to go ahead and do for you is a bonus llama opening.
Yeah. Swallow the phone.
I do want to point out here that I do recommend upgrade llamas only when you are new to Save the World and when you are initially working your collection book. I've got to stand by that. Now, you do have a triple llama here.
Don't tell me what's inside.
3 llamas in
I
one.
want it to be a surprise.
Theoretically, you could say to yourself, well, I'm saving 30 tickets here. Yes and no. It depends in the end. You know, is there something essential or game-changing here that you really need? Or maybe an exclamation point that you're looking for. A higher tier hero than what you have, right? These are the things that you're looking for because, again, for every one of these you're opening,
Does anyone else?
that's literally almost 3 of these right here. Okay, so I do want to point this out, and I want you to be mindful. But you will receive, and I can't deny this now, 30 free event tickets. So it is worth it when you see a llama that's discounted. You see something like the people llama, the trap llama, the weapon llama, right? If they're gold when they hit for 200, you can go for it. But just be mindful, that's 4 upgrade llamas you just lost out on. So anyway, let's start over here with the upgrade llamas.
Really get me. That's a weird stick you got there. Well, that's me.
And that was our free llama that we got from our quest line.
What's happening? What you see is what you get.
And again, you look over here and, you know, I can point out maybe a couple survivors that you need here,
Does anyone else
right?
feel trans-
Over here, you might not be seeing any survivors that you need, which I do not see any survivors there. Well, I mean, we do, but they're not that great, right? So again, just because it looks like trash doesn't mean necessarily that it is. But because I practice what I preach, I still stand by, truly, working my way through the upgrade llamas. Now, or if you can get it to a point, I guess you're looking at 5 triples, you know, so that you don't have an uneven number of tickets, because that, with my OCD, it drives me nuts. It really does come down to a choice here. I couldn't fault you either way. All right. But anyway, let's go ahead with the upgrade llamas.
Get ready for the gold rush.
If you stay true to the upgrade llamas, it always ends up working out for you, especially when you are new to Save the World.
Am I gonna get superpowers?
Just keep hitting them.
Bunt. Yeah, take it on home. Don't tell me what's inside. I want it to be a surprise. Well, hello there. And that's all she wrote. Okay, pretend to be surprised.
All right, let's go with another one right here. Upgrade.
Axe. Upgrade. Hey, check out this nice loot.
All right, and then we're here. Now, I am doing a tutorial video, so I feel like I have to at least show you some of these because I know you're probably curious. You want to see what's behind them. Again, there is a benefit and a discount here. So theoretically, you're not losing out on anything, and you could actually say you're gaining here. It really comes down to how you view it. All right, but I'm going to go ahead and open up some of these just to kind of give you an idea what you're looking at with them. All right, because again, they are discounted. There's no doubt about that. And in the long run, you could end up ahead.
Wow, not too shabby.
Or you can end up behind as well. All right.
Nothing to hide.
But here it did turn gold for us. So it's a nice llama. And the only reason we're considering it once again, and it's hard to repeat myself, but it's because it's discounted. Don't chase these llamas otherwise. Anytime you can get a discount, go for it. Just like in real life, right? But
Ooh. It's raining gold. So that's what I'm made of.
now in this case, not too great, right? You're going to have some in that aren't so great, just like the upgrades. Just be mindful of it. And you could go on a cold streak here and just back to back to back, right? Now, here we have an opportunity where you'll have a choice. Again, if it says 0 owned, that means you do not have it in your inventory or collection book. If you have one in your collection book, but not your inventory, you'll see a number 1 there. So just something to think about as you're working through. All right. And then choose whatever might work best for you.
What's happening?
And you can see here, we haven't gotten another legendary here now. But we do see a higher level hero when it comes to our inventory for our Pathfinder Jess. Anyway.
Nah. Oh yeah, pretty good.
All right. Definitely want to choose this Pathfinder.
Rated X for X.
And then we have our other epic. Now, let me show you something. I typically tell you to save tickets for the reset, right? Let's go ahead and open this, and I'll get back to that in a moment.
Oh, strum away. Wow, not too shabby.
All right. And we're going to have ourselves... now, what you're doing is you're looking at the rolls on your weapon, on your item here. Right. And this is important to note. Always take a look at your rolls and see what it might cost you to make a change to the particular trap you're looking at. And in the end, this one would cost me less if I were to keep it. So I'm going to choose the wall light, believe it or not, this time. All right. And then this is what you run into sometimes. All right. Now, if you get to a situation here, we've got no X-ray tickets. We've got 120 till bingo, right? What are we looking to do? Well, we know for sure daily quest-wise, right? If we get 3 done as a constructor, we're money in the bank. That's 100 right off the get. So a couple of runs from your Stonewood Endurance, you're money in the bank for at least 100. And then while you are running those 2 endurance runs under your challenge quest here, right, you have an opportunity to maybe get your hold the door completed, right, or your mission accomplished. And you can see here with 1 more, we get mission accomplished. So with just 2 runs with that endurance, and even if it doesn't go very far, let it end, right? You can get that llama real quick. So again, it's all about tutorial here, and I got to show it to you. And I'm glad, I still stand by it. Now that neon sniper weapon's a very good weapon.
Yeah, am I gonna get
I would even say it's one of the best utility weapons in all of Save the World. It's got a thermal on it. You can look through your trap tunnels, see how husks are acting. But now that they've made the changes with the defenders where you cannot give the defenders specific weapons, it's not as valuable as it once was for me. All right. So I just absolutely, without question, need to point that out as we're looking at it. All right. Other llamas to open. Let's take a look. Now we have mini reward llamas. Again, when it comes to these llamas, we're looking for them to turn silver. If they can. I'm going to go until we hit a silver potentially. You can hold down your button and it'll speed through. You're getting gold, evolution materials, schematics, heroes, survivors, defenders, like so on and so forth, right? You can get all kinds of different things in there if they crit. You're looking for a crit silver or a silver turn. And then actually, llamas in general can crit internally additional times. Okay, I do want to point that out. And this is what you're looking for, all right, when they hit that silver. Please do not hold these. Use them when they can actually make a difference for you. Very, very, very important here. You can see here all of the loot that we got in that llama. That's a game-changing llama when you were new to Save the World. All right. And then, of course, you can, if you wish, go ahead and bulk open, all right? And that's what we're going to do now. And at the end, you'll see everything that you get, to include your XP amounts, and then we are done. Now, for completing our Stonewood Endurance for 30 waves, we got a legendary Troll Stash Llama and that banner that I showed you. I'm going to go ahead and keep, though, the banner that we currently have, but let me show you one more time, in case you didn't see our previous episode. It's important, right? Because I like the Founder's banner myself. But anyway, you'll get this banner right here for completion of your Stonewood Endurance. All right, and then you get a llama. And actually, our first Troll Stash Llama that we opened in our journey provided us with a game-changing schematic, if you guys recall. Right? And it was that Xenon bow, if I remember right. Let's go ahead and open this up. Now, this is guaranteed to turn gold for you. Again, you can get additional crits internally on it. Where you can get extra event tickets, you know. Not just the standard 2 heroes or legendary items, but sometimes you get more. Holy blur, Batman. That was not a good look. I mean, I know I'm old and my eyes are getting bad on me, but that's pretty rough, my friends. They got to fix that real quick. So there's been some interesting things with the update, right? I think we all can agree on that. Okay. And I can see from a distance. I would always tell you, choose the item that you're most likely not going to see as often or frequent. So I can get a choice here. All right, so you get a ranged schematic, or you get a melee schematic. I'm going to go ranged. All right, now I will tell you, I'm looking for the room sweeper right now. That is a game-changing shotgun. All right, so I'm going to go and see roll if we can get one of those. Base game schematic. Don't have a copy of it yet. I'm looking for it. Unfortunately, did not get it though. So from that point, you can go back to shotgun, or you can go that long arm enforcer. Now I can tell you with the shotgun, it's nice to have. The issue that you're going to run into though is you cannot level it to a point where you can get the 6 perk on it. So I do need to point that out. All right. And we mean like at the end here, this one actually has headshot elimination, so it doesn't really matter. But if you had chain lightning, for instance, or so on and so forth with vacuum tube weapons, just giving you examples, of course. All right. Now we have an opportunity for 4 event llamas now, so let's open those as well.
Doubloons!
Another heavy base Kyle there. And we are having, all right, we have another copy of the Crossbones Barrett there. We need one for the collection book. We have one for inventory. That would be your choice, by the way. You are looking for Crossbones Barrett out of these llamas. No doubt about it, my friends. Crossbones. Well, one of them anyway. That's my top recommended, but... I love seeing an opportunity for more wall darts coming in. We're looking for particular roles. I'm going to talk about those a little bit with you as we go through. Again, it's a full tutorial. These episodes could be long. We do have the timestamps available as we go through them. Well, that's important to do, I know. But I would tell you, if you can, while you're playing in your journey, throw it up there, let it run, listen in. There might be something, and often there is, that we mix in there. That's a nice little privateer hype, by the way. And hit done. Now, when it comes to, I'm going to give you a couple of examples. When it comes to, you know, keeping legendary items or maybe over different rarity items. I have a good example here now I want to show you. It's a great opportunity for tutorial. Okay, Walloper and the Hootie. It really comes down to choice. I remember there was a time where that weapon was impossible to get, the Walloper. But now it's easy to go for my veteran players out there. All right, so that would be our Llama opening. Next thing we want to do, and you're going to see here now, by running that endurance, my gold count is looking really good right now. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to select our other hero here, that Cottontail Eagle Eye. From this point, we're also going to make sure that we have our token armory slots purchased. We're going to make sure before reset that we have our legendary epic flux and event schematic. And then again, after you have those things, then you start coming in here and grabbing the other event items that we see. Now, I'm only covering items in this series that I would recommend flux or a voucher on, or that come from the base game. I want it to be relatable now. All right. You don't need to keep one of everything outside of your collection book. In fact, you work against yourself as a new player, in my opinion, when you do that. All right, but that is our opening, and we are good to go. Next thing we're looking to see is, are we in Overcap status or Vault Overflow? And yes, we are in both now. And it would be much worse if we didn't buy those armory slots like we did. And or if we did not go ahead and have our two-factor authentication in place, because we actually ended up with an extra 100 for the slots when it comes to the exchange store. And then, of course, 50 for the two-factor. All right, so we've got some work to do here now. No doubt about it. So let's go make some choices and show you what I would do with it. All right, so we're going to start over here with the Hero tab. Anything with exclamation points are the new items that you are seeing and or receiving here. I would tell you, when you do a full inventory run, clear out everything across the board initially with your hero loadouts. We'll start fresh here. Okay. And then I would keep in the heroes. Again, for your loadouts, my recommendations is an endurance loadout, a base loadout for any defense objective that's at or above your power level, your farming loadout, and then you could always have a secondary loadout, maybe like with the Ice King if you want to switch it up and run a different style of constructor play. Both are acceptable. They truly are. And I think that's what we'll do. We're going to start running the King a little bit. I want to show you, we had you use a voucher on that hero, and then I'll move my Outlander down here, which I recommend the Trailblazer. All right. And then, of course, when you're working in, your goal would be to upgrade Inspect. We're going to evolve him, right? And then we're going to go working in. And again, your XP amount stuff are going to get crazy if you start running that endurance over and over again. You would not believe. Also want to point out, when you're running endurance to help with your home base level, all right, make sure you're using your boosts in the game for your endurance runs, right? You have your own boost. So you're boosting yourself to earn additional. I do need to point that out as well. Always remember, your priority when it comes to your heroes should be your commanders first. Nothing wrong with using green, right, until you get blue, purple, or gold. All right. Across the board with your hero loadouts, we're good to go. Next thing, all hero loadouts in this game. Now, if you are AFK Endurance, I have an exception with Machinist Harper. It's my only exception to this rule. But otherwise, every hero loadout that you have in Save the World, I do recommend the slow field. All right. So we're going to go ahead and put the slow field hands down in our loadouts. All right. Now, if you are AFK and you know you're not going to be around or utilizing it, right? There are some additional things that we can run here now. When you're running AFK Endurance, and if you go back and watch my video on how to build, trap, and operate your material grinder, right, I do have that in my Stonewood Endurance series for you, if you want to go back and see that. All right, I actually like the teleporter in that loadout, and I like the supply drop. All right, so that's what we're going to run there. When it comes to the base Kyle, it's either your supply drop or your banner. I like banner if you're having trouble with your building skill set and you notice that enemies are getting to your core of your build routinely, or you have a mini boss comes out to attack that core. Nice to have that banner, right, for the shockwave and the extra healing on it. Do need to point that out for you. But otherwise, you can, of course, go with your supply drop because you're going to be building and trapping. You want to get, your resources back. And we could do the same thing with the king. And then when it comes to the trailblazer now, this is interesting. If you're farming, I like the supply drop. If you're not farming, I like the turret though. And I like to run this hero loadout not only for my farming missions, but also eliminate and collect, right? You've got your 10-minute missions, eliminate, collect in the resupply, right, that we just mentioned. You have your build the radar tower. You have your destroy the encampments, and so on and so forth, right? Non-defense objectives typically. So again, it just comes down to your play style and what you want to run. Now at this point, of course, if you are AFK endurance or endurance, you want recycling. And you'd want recycling most likely on your constructor loadouts. But remember now, I did have you go get Happy Holidays with that TED hero. And I would start running that Happy Holidays now with your Trailblazer. So please don't overlook that. Now, the reason we've cleared these loadouts out in general is we're going to go back to the heroes now. Okay. And we're going to start looking at which ones do we want to keep out. Again, if you see a vehicle next to the hero, you can't put that in the collection book or use it in your hero loadout. So be mindful, you won't be able to go with those. But otherwise, what are we looking to do? I'm looking here now to see if I might have extra items going. Now, we are in Vault Overflow, and we have an overcapped inventory. Two different terms, by the way. Overcap means you're over that maximum, right? And then you go into the Vault Overflow where they start locking down your items. And what you want to do typically when that happens, all right, is I would go ahead, and if you have multiple of the same item for sure, you're going to go ahead and take care of that. And then you're also looking to see, are there other heroes or items here that you might not want to utilize? Now, do I consider any of these game-changing or essential that I'm recycling? No, I do not. And just as a reminder, if I see anything in the collection book, I do not want to recycle outside or batch retire. We'll go do that in. This is a playstyle choice now. I'm going to be honest with you. Now, I don't really promote use of handheld weapons like most do. And because your inventory is so necessary, and because this hero will return to you often in your journey, amongst other ones, right? If it's not game-changing or essential, we don't keep it out, friends. All right? And or if we have extras coming in. So I do need to point that out. And again, if I see that collection book, I'll go ahead and undo it. And then the rest will go. Because I already had the survivalist here, right? And same thing with constructors now. Let's work through. Now, here's the situation. I'm going to give you two examples. Now, if you are getting specific event heroes, and if they are something that, again, this is a hero I would recommend Flux on in the future. All right, very clear here. In this scenario, I would unfavorite this one. I would favorite the legendary first. I have to, under good faith, tell you, right? And what you can't do is you cannot do anything with Vault Overflow here. When you're in Vault Overflow, you cannot upgrade, evolve, or do anything with heroes. So pay attention to that. But I would go ahead and put this one in the book in this scenario and go here with this one. But that's going to be different here in just a moment. So I do want you to be mindful of it. All right. Another thing that we have is we do have a base Kyle loadout here. All right. I actually do like the Plasma Pulse damage hero. I do consider this a game-changing hero if you're running Plasma Pulse routinely with your base Kyle. So that is something I would take a look at. All right. And then we've already gone over why we are keeping all of the other heroes that we currently have. All right. And then here's another Izza as well that's out and about. But again, if you want to keep her, you keep her. And then after that, we do have an additional Harper. We have an additional Warden Kyle. Remember, you wouldn't have an additional now because of the new quest. They give you a free copy of him. In the past, I wanted you to use, manuals on him. Go get him out of the collection book under the Holiday Hero set. We did that actually because we did it before the change occurred, right? Or before we knew that he was available, I should say, because I hadn't done the quest yet. I have those videos up now for you. All right. But this is the hero that you want to go and do your upgrade a rarity of a hero quest and take this guy to rare eventually. That's the one I recommend. All right. But if you have extra copies again, you have something that's in the collection book or not in the collection book, right? We'll keep that out, and then the rest go down. And same thing with heavy base here, right? If you need them, keep them. If you don't, you don't. Now, I'm going to go ahead. It's a nice hero to have as part of your constructor loadout. We'll keep heavy base out for now. But we already have multiple copies of Harper, so we're good. All right, next hero's up. We have the Dragon. We have the Assassin Sarah. And again, another hero, part of that new quest line. You've got your Fleet for the speed, right? Then you got Skirmisher, and you got a couple extra of these. So we're going to go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. We have the Skirmisher, we have the Sarah, and then we have a Harvester Sarah. As always, try out the heroes if you want based on your playstyle. Would I keep any of these out right now? I would not. All right. And then, of course, collection book-wise, we're good. And we have our other Sarah out on Expedition. And then we come, finally, last but not least, to the Outlander class. All right. You do have Pathfinder here. Okay. And we have the green here. All right. So for just a minute, let me favorite something. So what I would do is I would take a look at these. And you got to be careful here that you don't make a whoopsie. And you can see here, I need all three of these in the collection book right now. I don't have any copies of the rare or the epic. Now, unlike the event hero that I just saw there, because they're more difficult to come by, right? I would actually, and without question, still keep my uncommon green here. And I would put these two in the book to get more collection book XP because it'll help me more early on. So I want to be very clear on those choices that you make. And you want to make wise and sound decisions when it comes to heroes. All right, and he's out of the book, so that goes. And then, of course, we have a couple of additional items here that we're going to put away. All right, so and then make sure any of your game-changing heroes, you have a favorite on them. And then they will become part of your permanent loadouts. All right, again, expeditions are also in this tab. We have them pending. If you need any of those heroes, just cancel. Now, when it comes to survivors, this is very simple, no-brainer. Every single survivor that you have right here, you save it. Even your grays, don't get rid of any of these. The survivor should take up the most of your inventory early on in your journey. I stand by that. All right. Remember, all survivors in Save the World, no matter their rarity, can have use for you. And honestly, most of the time, these uncommon here are actually a better choice than your mythics and legendaries. All right. Remember, bonuses based on your playstyle. No matter if it's a fraction of a point or how little it is, something is better than nothing. And that something, if it meets your playstyle, is everything. Please do not recycle any of your survivors when you were early to Save the World, going through the storyline and trying to discover your playstyle. Very important here. All right. When it comes to your squads. Now, when it comes to squads, we have gone through and taken a look at them so far in our journey. I have gone over these routinely with you. Just for a moment here on the survivor squads. We will clear through and work through for just a moment now. And we'll take everything out for the time being. Now, what happened is they put us in, turned us into the autofill, right? And kicked us back. So make sure you turn autofill off. When it comes to survivors again, I like you to have in your squads a different personality for each squad. That is my recommendation. That way, when you're getting new survivors in, when it comes to your journey, you can actually utilize them. Too often I see with survivor squads, people will put in
I can do this.
The same personality types in multiple survivor squads. All right, and I don't want you to do that. And we've gone over these leads already. All right, we've talked about it. All right, sorry, that gets changed out. That's not the right one. I apologize. All right, that's the glove hero right here.
To work.
Okay, so we've talked about the different formula in previous episodes. You can go back and check those out for sure. But otherwise, I want a lead. I have a formula where you have a different personality type in each of your squads. And as a reminder, your uncommon greens can have more value than the mythics and legendaries. All right, and just to prove that to you, when we go to collection book now, because we practice what we preach here. All right, that way it's believable and it's relatable, and you can see I'm doing it. Again, I have green lead survivors and blues, and I've put legendaries away because they did not fit what we needed in our journey. You need to make wise and sound decisions. Very, very important here. All right. And then when it comes to our final parties here now, and I kind of know what they are, I'll just throw them out to you. I'm looking for a curious type here. If we have a curious lead, I do not see a curious lead here, unfortunately. So that's not going to work for us. All right, for the scouting party. Close assault squad, our training team, excuse me. And then for our training team, what do we need? Take a look, see what the training team is. And that's the double bubble here. So for training team, or when you're looking at that weight, I'm looking for the double bubble. I don't see that one there either. So that one's not going to play for me. All right, and then you can see here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, into the 7. We don't have our 8th. And that is going to be our think tank at the end. That's going to be pragmatic. So with the little light bulb, I'm looking for that little square. And then if you do not see the survivors that you need, which I do not now, and again, you see this purple here? I've got greens in my loadout. These are not the right survivors that we need for our squad. So we must not put them in your loadout, by the way. Right? Suffer early, succeed later. Remember that. Let's go ahead and open up our inventory. All right. And then if you have ones that you need in your book, again, we will just go up here, unfavored them, and then we just recycle because I want to take you in the book and show you how to work it. And then when it comes to our squads in the future, we will fill those in behind the scenes. I've gone over those multiple times. Your goal is this, though. Make sure you get your check mark with your leader. Make sure to try to, if you can, have different personality types in each of your survivor squads so that when you get new survivors in your llamas, you have a better chance to use them, right? All of your subordinates or support team members, right? Or survivors, right? You want them to match the personality type. And then you're going for the bonuses, right? You want one set of the big 4, which is your trap damage, melee damage, range damage, ability damage. And then you're shooting for 2 sets of the small 4, trap durability, shield regen, and health. And just make sure you're matching personality types, getting bonuses. And remember, bonuses that meet your playstyle are what you're trying to do in the game. If you're doing endurances, if you're doing limited time modes like Survive the Horde, trap durability all day long, especially if you're on your own. But remember, when you team up with other members that have trap durability, if they have more than you, the person in the squad that has the highest amount's getting credit. Yours are getting washed. I recommend balance in the game. All right, so just something to think about there. All right, so that takes care of our heroes now. That takes care of the survivors. Then we're going down to defenders again. Now, they've changed defenders significantly in the game. And I'm hoping they're going to revert back because I honestly myself do not like the change that we're seeing. All right. But again, I would still handle it the same way as always. Typically, I like consistency, so I always have pure damage on my defenders so that when I give them a weapon or they have a weapon, I know it's going to be good to go. I don't really see the changes right now. They're still working on it since the Husty update. All right, but otherwise, I don't see anything here that would be better than what I currently have of my main 3. I'm recommending 3 at this time. So we're going to go ahead and clear those out. And then if you have a permanent item, you can't recycle that, but it's not counted against your inventory, believe it or not. And remember, when it comes to your inventory, all right, this number here is just not your ranged, melee, and trap schematics. That also includes all of your heroes, right? All of your survivors, and all of your defenders. So be mindful when you're looking. When it comes to the bruisers, I like straight melee damage. You'll see here sometimes I keep grays over blues and purples. I'm still going to stay true to the straight melee damage. I see one here. As a result, that one would get unfavorited. That way I don't have to think about. See how I kept the grays initially and now I have the greens? Rarity doesn't mean as much as you think it does in the game. Remember that. All right, and then all of these down here we go. Recycle in, and then of course we would go in eventually and go ahead and back. I'll do all the upgrading later. All right, let's take a look at our pistols. Or gunslingers, I guess we could say. All right, are they any better than what I currently have? I don't like those better than the ones we've got. Actually, what's this one here? I like this one here, actually. It's in the Vault Overflow, though, now, so we can't do anything to it until we clean our inventory. All right, so we are good here, and we close down. All right, next ones would be our shotgunners. Actually, my best defender is a triple shotgun damage right now. Typically with me, I need crit damage and crit rating together to keep them. If I have a crit damage with no crit rating, I usually get rid of it, but I will keep a crit rating without a crit damage, believe it or not. It just works a little bit better there. You don't have to think about it as much. You still can get a little bit of a benefit. All right, we have a green sniper, but that's not any higher than the ones I currently have. These all have what I'm... actually, I like this one just a little bit better than the other. So I'm going to go ahead and clear that blue now. And again, I'm keeping a green uncommon over a blue rare. I like the roll better. It meets my playstyle better. 3 at a time. I'd keep 3 right now this early in the journey. Then you go into schematics. And this is where many run into problems. Now, in this series, I am promoting trapping and building first, foremost, and always. Because in my opinion, anybody can run and gun with overpowered schematics in this game and be successful to a point. To a point. I want to point that out. If you try to take that mentality through this game and you get to the end game and Frost Knight, survive the Horde, 160s, you will get burnt if you do not pick up the trapping and building. All right, that's why I'm focused on it. Too much running and gunning, not enough trapping and building and Save the World. Surround yourself around players that want to trap and build. I promise you, you'll be all the better for it. Okay? Then you're looking at schematics that would be game-changing or essential to your journey. Typically, with vacuum tube weapons, you're looking for chain lightning, right? There are many different 6 perks in the game that you can have, but do I see anything in here that I absolutely have to have over my recommendations now that would be game-changing or essential to my journey? I do not. All right, so then you start going in, you take a look, right? That's a collection book item. I wanted to see it. This is a collection book item, yep. Okay, so then you just start marking all these. And I'm going to clear all these schematics out because we don't need them. Remember, this costs you resource here when you craft these, when you use them. Ammunition as well. Be mindful of it. So you don't have to do additional farming in your journey. All right, do you want to point that out? And I'm looking to make sure there's nothing in the collection book here. There's not. We clear it. Same thing here with the melee. Is there anything better than what I currently have? There is not. I can easily say that without hesitation. Now, the Klax is pretty good, though. I'm not going to lie to you on that. And all weapons have purpose, use, and meaning in Save the World. They truly do. If you know how to roll them correctly and you're running with them correctly. Okay, so the Klax would not be... Okay, these are my one-timers. You got the Walloper. And then you've got that paddle down here. Or the initiator or whatever it is. Okay, so those clear. Now we're only 28 over, right? We're getting there, my friends. We're getting there. All right, next thing I would do when you get a bunch of traps in, right? You take a look at what you have, and you take a look at where you need to go. Now, in this situation, we're not going to really have the luxury of keeping 2 of everything. So we're going to be looking for some consistency. Not as much damage as most would tell you to be looking for. Right? And then you're looking at the rolls. So we're going to start with a ceiling drop trap. All right? We've got a couple damage durability here. Is that any better than the one I currently have? It's pretty much overall the same, right? So I know right now that that trap is not staying with me. I can say that and be good with it. Next one's the electric field. I did not receive any extra electric field, so we're good. Wall launcher would be next, right? We got 2 reload, 2 impact durability. I really like that. That's a clean one. I can't keep these now, though. I'm in a situation where I don't have the luxury. Schematics can easily be replaced. Survivors, not as much. You'd be surprised that one survivor, how long it could take you to get it when you need it. It's crazy, but it's true. All right, so that's the next trap. Flame Grill trap. I don't like the rolls on this trap. It would cost me reperk otherwise. I'm not going to keep that one. All right. You would eventually want one of every trap. Right, but I don't like the rolls. I'm not going to use perk on. And it's a very niche trap, believe it or not. It's very specific in your journey. We'll go over that more down the road. All right, floor launcher wise, couple impact, reload, durability. This has 1 impact, 2. I like this one here. I can't keep this one now. All right, but sorry, we skipped on this. All right, tar pit. Any other tar pits? I don't see any tar pits. We have a range, a reload, durability. I like that. That's a nice little mix. I don't see these being any better. I'd keep the one I've got. See how we're kind of methodically going through and cleaning? Got to do this. And then what we're going to have to do in the inventory is we're going to have to probably start making some decisions with the survivors a little bit. I hate to say that, but it's coming. All right. We'll show you what I mean and how you fix it, though. All right. Otherwise, Zapper, you need an energy and a nature copy of this trap. Please understand you need both. I do stand by that. Don't overlook it. Please, please, please. All right. And typically with your zappers, you need a primary and a finisher. All right. But right now I have an energy damage reload. I don't have a crit build on it. I don't like the rest of the rolls. I'd keep what I've got there. I don't think these are better than what we currently have, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of those. All right, so we're good there. The Dynamo. Got a legend here. I got a couple of damage, got a heals attached, couple durability. What's the rules on this one, though? Damage to durability. That one doesn't, that's not better than the one I got. Neither are what I like, but it is what it is. All right, that's a collection book. We'll hit that at the end. All right. Floor launcher. Is that one we hit at the end? No, we can get rid of that one. Because let's double check, though. We have 1 impact, couple reloads, couple durabilities. This one has 2 impact, a single reload. I like both of these. I wish we could keep them both. We just don't have the luxury. All right. I would use those back to back in a build. So we can get rid of that one for now. Tough decisions now. We have a crit rating, crit damage, durability dart. I like that. Double crit rating, crit damage. I actually like this dart right here. What dart do I currently have? I do not like that better than the one we've got. So we're going to keep that new one, and we're going to get rid of that one. Get some material back. All right, and then we'll level, like I said, in the future. All right, so that's all good. Next traps would be wooden floor spikes. Double crit rating with a damage. I got a crit rating. I don't like that better than this one. I'm going to keep my current one. It's lower in rarity, but it's good. Gas trap here now. This is important. Right. Do you see a double crit rating, double crit damage? Now, you do need to understand the rules of your traps when you're looking at them. Because, again, it'll cost you reperk to change them. So it's ever so important that you are being mindful of it. All right. Now, I like the 5x1 here for my first one. I have to stand by it. You want no more than 1 reload speed, by the way, on the ceiling gas trap. All right. I do not like, in this situation, the double crit that. So let me see what I've got for green here. I like this one right here. A crit rating, crit damage straight on it. Believe it or not, I don't like this one here. It would cost me too much perk in the future to change too many rolls. And because you'll receive additional copies in the future on it, I'm going to keep this green one right here and get rid of that legendary. When I look at that trap, I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, and 4 changes based on the order I like to run it in. This changes nothing. Got to get rid of it, man. I'm not going to spend that much reperk to change it. You have to make tough decisions, guys. All right. Next thing up, we have our broadside for the first time. Does that have the rolls on it that I like? It does not. And it's not a trap that I recommend, unlike most. Again, the reload is terrible in that trap. I like it. There's some spaces for it. But again, I'd have to waste too much to change that one. I'm not keeping it. Triple impact, double durability. This has triple impact, reload, durability, heals attached on it. I actually do not think this one here is much better than this one here, honestly. It's got the reload though. That's what saves it. So I keep the reload one. I only like to impact and knockback on the wall light, by the way, unless you know you're facing a smasher. The 3 impact's too much otherwise. You only need it for smashing. I just don't like it as a result. Okay, so that one would go. Let's see if I have a copy of the book. I do not. We're good. All right, and then we already went over the wall darts and why we're keeping the ones we are and why we're getting rid of the ones we're not, right? Let me just double check the wall dart, make sure we did talk about that. I did. Okay. All right, so the darts go and we are clear here and that's done. And then otherwise, the gas traps now, we kept the one we want. We'll get rid of those gas traps. Okay, so we are good. Now, I would tell you right now, if you were hurting, for inventory space, could you temporarily wait on the nature copies of the trap to help you with your inventory? If it meant having to recycle a survivor instead of, you know, to keep that trap, I would get rid of the trap before I ever got rid of a survivor. Because you still have the energy. And because we're not in a nature season, or a water season, excuse me. Right? Nature's good against water in the game. Because we won't face that most likely, and especially in our journey right now, I would probably and potentially sacrifice these right now. Because we're hurting for our inventory. I hope that makes sense. But we'll wait and see after we recycle or put the things in the collection book. All right, before we make those tough choices. Don't like that. Wall dynamo. Nature. I honestly don't like the rolls on that one. I have to admit to you. Same kind of thing with your dynamo, right? I like the 5x1. That's one of each of the perks, right? Actually, I don't like heals attached building or increased build health from these wall traps that most people do. That means you're taking sustained damage. If you're not stalling or recycling, why are you putting heals attached or increased build health? That means you have a flaw in your build, man. Right? You need to go back and clean it up a little bit. Just something to think about. All right. But same situation here. Do I really need this right now? No, I need a nice, dependable dynamo. I just get one damage hit, a couple durability. I actually like this one better than the legendary right now. It doesn't cost me as much with my perk. All right, so I keep it. Healing pad wise, what do I got? Got a couple healing amounts there. I don't see a couple healing. I would look to see, like, see how you have your uncommon and your common here. Take a look at the one you have. See how this one has 2 uncommons? I would unfavorite this one. I would keep this one instead. It's actually better for you. Hope that makes sense. So that's good. I like that wall spike, so I know I don't need those two. I know I don't need the floor spike now. Retractable floor spike. Oh, I like that one there. I don't like this one here. All right, so we're good. I'm going to keep my natures, by the way, because, again, we're going to be under our overcap here in a second. All right, so after you get done with all your schematics and you've gone through across the board and you've been methodical with it, again, with your backpack, if you pick up anything during missions that you aren't going to need in the future, like we just did our build, right? I'm going to clear this out for a minute. Right. Now, another thing you can do before you hit the collection book, if you know you're going to put some legendary items away and you want to give them a shot, you can make some. And then put it in the book. I just want you to understand, it's not about the highest rarity or the most damage. It's about the right. For your playstyle, your trapping and building skill set are what you need in the game. All right, and then we have a bunch of exclamation points. This stuff's all becoming like a big deal. Again, you're going to get stuff ahead of time in your journey if you work your collection book. All right, so that covers all of the inventory at this point. And then the final thing that we do, when it's all said and done, we've made all of our favorites, we start putting things away. And please, from day one in your Save the World journey, please work the collection book. It's one of the absolute most important things that you will do. And the rewards here are unbelievable. So please do not overlook in your journey an opportunity to use your book. No, you don't keep one of everything out. Okay, that is very important here. Please be mindful and understand that. All right, here's a new ceiling gas trap. Remember, if you get something new, you come out for a minute, right? You take a look at your schematics, right? Is that roll any better than one? No, it's not. Okay, and you can still see we have the lock coming in. We're still in overflow there. We're overcapped too. All right, both go hand in hand though. Just 2 different terms. All right, back to the heroes, other outlanders. Again, we kept the green. We're going to put the other ones away for more collection book XP because we know in the future we're going to get additional copies of that hero. Now, if you're getting legendaries of the heroes, that's a different story. I have to say I'd pump the brakes a bit, consider. And we already went over the lead survivors. We know we don't need these. This is what you need. You need that 200 rare perk up early in your Save the World journey. Ranged weapons. Again, if you want to, you can give it a try. Anything in the base game. Now, if that's the room sweeper, I keep it out. Because the room sweeper is a game changer. That one, not so much. Okay, shock specialist AC. So we go back. We come back to the collection book. I am good with the copy of the Shock Specialist that we have. I put the higher one away in this scenario. Remember, if it's an event item or something I recommend Flex or a voucher on, you keep the legendary. But if it's a base game, you might consider a different outlook on it. This was a long episode. Might be our longest episode we've had so far. But I have a lot to cover, and we need to cover it. All right, and then all these extra traps now, let's put them away. Let's get levels in our book. Let's get some resource in our pocket. I'll take that 250 epic perk up as a new player. Holy moly, is that a game changer for a new player. I'll take that epic survivor that we're about ready to get that I see coming into our inventory. That might be the survivor we're looking for, friends. Epic survivors can spend a lot of time in your journey with you. Heck, one of those uncommons could, theoretically, if it's the bonus that you needed. I'm seeing an increase opportunity. Oh, the healing pad. Remember, if you have a healing pad already in, when you put this, it's going to recycle the one that you currently have in the book. If you want to save that item, make sure you pull it out. But it will cost you valuable flux. So be mindful of that. All right, then we're cruising on down to the additional pirate. Now, I already had, and we're just going to confirm that for a minute. We go to heroes, we go to manage, right? We already had, we kept the legendary here in this scenario, right? So back to the collection book. And this hero here would go away. And then we already have a copy of the crossbones too in our inventory. 100 gold's big time for a new player. More so than something in your inventory that gives you no value that you're not using. Again, we have the crossbones, so we don't have to worry about that. That is not a hero that you book, though. You keep that hero out if that's your first copy. All right. Otherwise, though, event people. That Warden Kyle you don't put in the collection book if it's your only copy. You keep that out. That's a game-changing hero. Please be mindful of that in your journey. Let me tell you, friends, I've run a lot of endurance, man. And I'm going to run endurance here again today to get those tickets. Go get that neon sniper weapon, I think. We'll go get it. It'd be nice to have a copy of that in our inventory. I want to showcase that in this series. That's the purpose. Again, I'm going to do things maybe I wouldn't otherwise at certain times. I'll explain when I do it because it's a tutorial series. All right. And that clears everything up. So much information when it came to this particular episode. All right, we went over once again how to build, trap, and defend step by step your Plankerton defense number 3. We then worked our way back here and spoke in depth about how to manage your Hestia home base back here. I'm still going to call it the home base command center. That's how it's always been for me. But so if you ever hear that, that's what it is. But we went over that top to bottom. Also got a chance to talk to you about overcapped inventory and vault overflow, expeditions, and how to manage that collection book.